Hello, 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 and welcome to ETF2L Season 24, week number 2, between Comfortably Spanked and Lego. My name is Bren, and I am joined today by the one and only Kaidus. How are you, Kaidus?
I'm good. Looking forward to a quality game of Team Fortress. I'm expecting nothing but the best from these two clans of gamers tonight. It's going to be TF2 of the highest order.
It's going to be definitely interesting. Going to be some plays happening. Some good stuff between them. The maps that we're going to be seeing today are, of course, the week 2 maps, which is going to be Snakewater, unreleased version number 8, and Process. So it's going to be some fairly standard maps, nothing left wing just yet, no Reckoner in the pool just yet. I don't know what week that's on, but that's going to be coming up soon. That's going to be interesting to see some teams on anyway. But beyond that, we can just dive straight into the thick of it, I suppose. Did you want to let's talk about these two teams on Snakewater first map? Any players to look out for? I'm gonna throw you straight in.
Well, Butlers is obviously going to be a point of interest because he's filling in for Zen for Lego. Not sure where Zen is. I don't keep up with my Danes, but that will be obviously interesting to see how he does. I know he roamed for. I think he played Soldier, murked someone last week, and did pretty well actually. So that will be interesting to see how he fits in. Because Zen's been playing a kind of. I'm not exactly sure how to describe it, but several people I've spoken to have commented that he plays very strangely on Roma, so it might be quite a shift for Lego. The thing I'm most interested to see about this game, though, is how Lego are going to play, because they seem to have been, from what I've gathered, they've simultaneously slowed their play down a lot, but I've also been rumored to be rage quitting PCWs because of other teams playing slowly. So
right, okay.
So, like, yeah, it kind of with Lego, I'm not sure what to expect tonight. Basically, I don't know if we're going to see this kind of like classic Lego where they're just doing things and it's getting messy, but they're kind of doing it together so it works, or if we're going to see this kind of revamped Lego that at least we were getting glimpses of in preseason and things like that, where they seem to be trying to adapt their playstyle a little bit. If they do the latter against a team like Comfortably Spanked, who are playing really random and messy, they could just like sweep them if they are pulling it off. But I'm not sure because we also saw them choke completely in this cup the other day. So with Lego, it's like I never really know what to expect. With Comfortably Spanked, I expect mess and nonsense. But with Lego, it's a weird one. I don't know what to expect.
So you know these players intimately. I don't know why I'm saying that in such a way that implies that you've been doing mischievous things with them, but you know them to an extent. You talk to them maybe on pugs and stuff. Would you say Lego is the kind of team that would tilt by Comfortably Spanked's playstyle? Just random chaos.
Yeah, it's like perfectly possible because I'm not sure what the situation with Lego is. They always they're a team I always consider like they're gonna play close to anyone. Like they can play the best team and play close to them, and they can then play the worst team in Prem and play close to them. They just kind of when they have this like underdog feeling, they seem to play a lot better. But when they go in against teams that they know they should beat, when it turns out to be slightly more difficult than they expected, their like mentality takes like quite a large shift. So if they're getting off to a good start and like what they're doing is working, I feel like they could just sweep it tonight, like based on their abilities. But when things get messy and tensions mount and like emotions rise, that's kind of always when I'm never ever confident in what's going to happen when I watch Lego play.
That's a fair comment to make, definitely so. Especially as you mentioned, their performance in the DreamHack Cup was nothing to be proud of, to be honest. Like, I mean, Lego, they played week 1 against Publicly, didn't they? And they got kind of smashed into the ground. And then DreamHack, they met again in the brackets, and once again it was a repeat of last time. I can't remember if it went to 3 maps or so, but I know the scoreline wasn't too close. So they haven't been feeling too hot recently, especially like, I mean, and because of that, it's very difficult to say which way this game is going to go, as you were saying. Comfortably Spanked, you don't know what's going to happen. There's going to be some crazy stuff potentially happening. You never know. They do some weird stuff. Lego, you mentioned that they've been tilting in PCWs, rage quitting them.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Like I wasn't there for it, but I'm still involved in the nameless effort, and so I'm in kind of got close communication with them. And I know they had some little controversy in a game they played. Like Lego left after 1 map because they were upset with or like annoyed, frustrated by the way nameless were playing slow. But I know that I definitely heard for a fact, like through someone, that Lego had been experimenting, playing like a slower play style, and like especially in like stalemates, like playing it more like in a nameless style where they're like not just trading and not just committing hard on everything, and actually trying to like wait out for the larger opportunities. But since they just kind of crushed publicly in week one, I haven't really seen them play. Like I didn't catch them in because obviously we're entering week three now, but this is a week two game, so this is only their second D2F2L game.
Yeah.
So they haven't really been in the public eye since that DreamHack Cup, and I kind of put that DreamHack final down to tilting. Like I think that was just like I didn't see the game. I was casting another game at the time, but I put all that down to basically that was probably not really the true Lego and not actually their capabilities. So tonight's going to be a bit of like I think it's going to be like a learning experience. I think if Lego can get through tonight like smooth, get like a really solid win, then they put themselves like on a good path, you know. Like if we're thinking like later in the season toward playoffs, they put themselves on a good path because they're coming up against Perilous next week. Well, technically this week, but like next week for them. But in the over the next several days, they'll be playing Perilous, which will be a very, very interesting game. Like I say, they're always a team that can give anyone a game and will have a close game with anyone. So if they can get themselves on a good momentum, then that really sets things up really nice. So I'm hoping for good things from Lego, but I never trust it until I see it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not exactly like they're filled with not very capable players either. They've definitely got some well-known players. Dr. Phil is a very capable demo man, one of the top demo man in EU as it stands, and Sorex also did show up as well last game, I believe, on week one, quite heavily. He was putting in a lot of work. Eyes on Scout as well. Josh is on the soldier role along with Buttnose and obviously Condom on medic. Looking at comfortably Spanked as a team. You've got Denny and Hank on Scout, Tom and Quick on Soldier, adysky on Demo Man, and Skeej on Medic. Given what we're seeing, Snakewater, generally the pace, is it fair to say the pace of the mids is decided by the soldiers to an extent?
Yeah, I'd probably say so.
What team would you say really has an advantage in that then?
Like for the mids, it's kind of hard to say. Like Comfy Spank, they're a bit of a mystery to me still. Like their game they played Snake against PC Master Race, and that was legitimately like one of the most awful games of TF2 I've seen in a long time. Like a complete horrendous mess.
Right.
Like if all things are being even, like I give the edge to Lego in kind of every situation tonight.
Yeah.
Based on just like pure ability and what they're capable of. But it's interesting that you bring up Sorex because Sorex had a bit of a disappointing season last season. Obviously, Lego kind of crumbled. They didn't make playoffs when they really probably should have done. But the way I've been hearing it is that Sorex has been playing better again in the build-up and the start of this season. So Sorex is like a real key figure in this game tonight. Like if we see like Sorex at his full potential, then he's a really, really like big impact for Lego. He's the kind of player who can just he just makes things happen and makes everything like when what he does works, it makes everything else so much easier. It's just kind of like frags are happening somewhere. You don't know where they're happening or why they're happening, but they're happening and it gives you confidence and you can just you just go with it, you know?
Yeah, that's fair to say.
But in terms of like soldiers on the mid, I'm not sure about Buttnose. Like Snake mid's kind of a weird one because it is basically like two waves of men just kind of colliding into each other. And there's an awful lot of like nuance and subtlety that actually goes into it and how the teams are approaching it. It's one of the harder mids to kind of talk about in like direct terms because a lot of what's happening there is super, super subtle.
Yes, yeah.
Compared to other mids, like, it's not like you just set up on left or set up on right and then push an area. It's kind of like, it is just like one big like mess of men in the middle. So with Buttnose on Roma, that's going to be a weird one because he's not going to have a whole ton of experience playing the map. Like at this level. So I think what Buttnose is doing and how well Buttnose is performing will probably be pretty key to the mids. But at the same time, like I don't know. It's like Scouts kind of rule the game at the same time. And the Scout, like in terms of Scouts, like it's Sorex and Izon, Hank and Denia, like you kind of have to give Sorex and Izon this edge purely because of Sorex, basically.
I suppose we can move on from that one there. Denia as a sniper is known to be pretty good. He's a decent guy. Snakewater can be a bit stalemate in those last holds with sniper, and there's a few sightlines as well where it can be quite strong. A few situations I can think of, especially around the second point. But can you anticipate that being a factor in potentially a victory over Lego today?
Yeah, like Denny is a player. Like I've never like rated Denia as a top scout, but he's probably like the biggest like nuisance that you'll ever play against in terms of a player that you don't particularly rate, who has a big impact on the game consistently. He's like right up there in terms of being that kind of a player. And if we're talking about Lego having the potential to tilt, I can't think of a single player in Prem that can cause you to tilt in the same way that Denia can, because he's just a pain in the ass basically. Like the random things he does and like the opportunities he finds for himself on sniper, despite being like relatively speaking less skilled than other like notable snipers. Like if you're talking like historically, like your Flippies and I guess modern day Thalash and these kind of players that like are renowned for their sniper plays. Like Denia, like he's just kind of guy who's gonna take up a weird angle, sit there for a long time, and then body shot your medic as he comes around the corner completely unexpected. And when you combine that with Condom, who's just like the most error-prone medic you can ever think of, with Lego's capacity to tilt when things go badly, I can see Denia having a pretty large impact today. Like not necessarily, because like I said, I don't rate him as a particularly like highly skilled player, relatively speaking, in terms of the top of TF2. But he really can have a large impact, especially when teams lose concentration. He's the kind of guy who's going to make you pay.
Yeah, all valid points. One thing I did want to raise as well, a while back, I don't even know if it was a while back, I don't even know if teams run it recently as well. I think I was watching some I-49 demos potentially, and I saw a few times sniper to mid. Viable at all, or what are we thinking?
I haven't seen sniper to mid on Snake War since like season 22 grand final was the last I remember it, when Flippy would snipe in this weird TF2 center lineup, and it doesn't really work. Like it's not like something that actually functions properly. But if the first notification of there being a sniper on the mid is him headshotting a key player, it can work like anywhere basically. Like if he's just killing someone immediately, and that's the first warning you get, then he immediately evens the situation, and then anything can happen from there. But I mean, like as a default, it's something you could do like often. It's not really something that would ever work because teams will just play aggressive, and you're not going to hit enough heads often enough. Like if you just play that mid 50 times, then majority of the time you're probably not going to hit the shot, probably going to go overwhelmed. But I don't really know how comfy Spanked are doing, how they're playing. I don't know if this is something they would consider doing, but I mean, as a one-off, it could work, but it's not something I would expect to see.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I don't even know why I raised that point, because I knew it was absolutely ages ago that I saw it, but I don't know. Anything can happen in this game of TF2 today that we're going to be witnessing, but we are going to see both these teams going to be getting all of their players into the server. 6 on the side of Lego, just waiting for that one more player on Comfortably Spanked. I don't know who exactly we're waiting for. Who is it? Is Vanny? Who is Vanny? Is that
Vanny playing?
Yeah, is he murking? No.
I guess Vanny's playing in place of Quick. I know he played in their last match, I think. Is it permanent?
It's permanent,
Is
apparently.
Quick gone?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's interesting, because he's like, I don't really know a whole lot about Vanny, but in my head he's nothing like Quick. Like Quick is just kind of like this robotic aim machine, and Vanny is like a bit. I don't know. I don't know him that well. I never really like spoken to him, but I always had him kind of down as like he's played so many classes. I have him in my head as like a bit of like a cerebral player who kind of reads the game to quite a decent level, but I'm not sure if that's actually accurate. I could be completely wrong, and people are laughing at me now. But either way, like Quick is was a pretty like particular player in the way that he was. Like he was just kind of this robot that you have to maneuver around the map and tell him what to do.
Yeah.
But he had like legit like very, very good aim. So Vanny being in instead of Quick, and Tom's a relatively new addition as well. They used to have another soldier, right? Tom's a pickup for this season.
Take a quick look at the roster, and hopefully it will tell me. I mean,
they had Tiger last season. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like basically a brand new soldier combo compared to the roster they had last season.
Yeah. So that's right. So we are going to see Vanny on Pocket compared to what it was before, which was, who did we say? It was Quick. That's right. Yeah. Beyond that, still waiting for this last player to get in, so the game will be starting any time now, I'd imagine. Beyond that, what else is there to talk of? Just trying to think of a topic quickly off the top of my head. There was something I wanted to say, but it's completely slipped from my mind. Incredible professionalism, but...
Wow, I've heard such amazing things about you, Bren. This was not what I'd had in mind when I envisioned
just,
our first
I don't
cast
know,
together.
Yeah, I don't know why it's gone from my head. I think I wanted to mention something that David mentioned to me, and it's that LEGO apparently have strategies now.
Right.
They've been messing around on the tactics.tf page.
Oh, yeah, that's part of what I heard as well. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at before. Like, I don't speak to people from LEGO in particular, but I speak to Haffy, who's obviously got this Icelandic like circle jerk thing going on.
Right.
So you kind of get anything involving an Icelandic player. If you speak to an Icelandic player, it's like they know each other and they're sisters. So it's just like it's all coming out. And I know for a fact that I definitely heard through this like line that LEGO have definitely been trying a different approach, like a way more structured approach. But they have a lot of like impatient players. Like Izon is probably the least patient player I can think of. And Josh is probably not far behind him on that list. So I don't know, like, if they're not getting results from it fast, like, it definitely see them like just slipping back into old habits and old ways of playing.
Right.
That's why I kind of say tonight will be, for me at least, I will probably learn a lot about LEGO tonight that I don't already know. Just because, even if it's just I learned they're playing exactly the same as they used to, at the moment it's like kind of like a coin flip for me. Like I don't know which way around it's going to be. So tonight will reveal that basically.
Alright, okay. Well, I'm happy to confirm that all teams are in the server. However, I'd imagine they're not starting anytime soon, as the 90-second countdown has not begun. So, David makes a nice little comment there that their tactics didn't help them beat Serpents, did it, in the DreamHack qualifiers?
Yeah, this is the kind of the thing though. It's like when you switch from just doing like a natural style where everything comes naturally to doing something structured where there's a lot of thought behind it and kind of learning how to do things like this way as a team and that way as a team and like everyone having their job. When you come like into a match scenario, it can make things quite static. Like if you're not fully believing in the system you're trying to implement, it can make everything a bit awkward because you're kind of deliberately ignoring instincts. So then when you're feeling under pressure and you're having like different instincts, it can make everything weird and it can actually make things worse before it gets better. So as well, especially when you have this kind of like tendency to tilt that we all kind of know LEGO have. So I think like if it's just my opinion, I think it's definitely best for them in the long run that they kind of look at what they've done like in their lifespan in the last year or whatever and see what's not working and actually try to fix it. But I wouldn't expect results from it overnight. So I hope they're going to like stick at it and actually like see it as like a long-term investment and not just have it fail once or twice and go back to just like trading off of every pick despite like, I don't know, like if you're on Granary second or something, they're the type of team that will just push to mid with one pick and trade Ubers and then wipe and give rounds away this way. So I hope they're not just going to instantly revert back to this because with the way teams play these days, it really doesn't work. It's so easy to exploit. So I hope they're going to like invest their time into it and not just give up. That's kind of like why, like I say, like after their horrendous result against Serpents, if they're still like taking the same approach, then you know it's like a long-term thing because they had pretty much the most horrendous result they could have. Like they lost 2-0, right? It wasn't even like 3 maps.
Yeah, no, it was a bit upsetting to see that
by like a team that isn't even a real team that was made up of mostly like mediocre players who were never even like top players in their prime, let alone now that half of them are playing Overwatch or not even playing the game anymore. So that was like a complete abomination of a result. So if they're sticking to this kind of new regime they have, even after that, then you can be pretty sure it's a long-term thing. That's why I say tonight's going to be like quite informative in that regard.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be an insight anyway to the level of TF2 that we might have to get used to seeing for some time to come. Maybe we might only see 2 top teams in EU. Maybe we might see a third. Who knows? I don't know. But,
that's the thing, because if there is going to be like a team that can get close to Perilous and Nameless, it's going to be LEGO. Like the way I see it, the rest of the teams this season, none of them are going to get close. Like Publicly was the only hope, and they've been worse than anyone could have imagined. So for me at least, in terms of like having a healthy scene and like an interesting like set of playoffs come the end of the season, LEGO is like, I pin a lot of hopes on them basically. So I really am hoping like for them to do it up basically.
Okay, well, the countdown has begun finally. It wouldn't be TF2 without a 18-minute delay, but here we are. The game has begun onto Snakewater, week 2 of season 24, LEGO versus comfortably Spanked. And this is the mid-fight that's currently rolling out, and we're going to see which way it goes where now. Adysky going to be actually running a quickie bomb there, going to be getting off some early denial into that saw area, trying to get that spam off if he can, taking that upper area as well, and taking a lot of damage because of it. So he's going to be forced out of that fight quite early. Josh with a big bomb forward coming out by Vanny. Can he get that frag onto Condom? I don't know if he's going to be able to do it, but Tom on the back lines has picked up Dr. Phil, as well as that. A lot of frags coming out on either side. A Spanked has picked up Josh, and that's 3 down on the side of the Lego guys. Comfortably Spanked, just taking it by storm, and here we go. The scout combination, the dynamic duo, not going to be paying off at all, as they're just getting absolutely collapsed on. They went for that sack onto Skeej there, Kaidus, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, that was actually like a really interesting mid to watch. Adysky did a strat like that I don't know if they copied it or if they just came up with it on their own, but either way, Adysky did like an exact play that we came up with in Nameless, where you basically jump top at the start, like as demo, like just put down a load of spam and then hide in this little corner and have like a pre-planned arrow from the medic. They did this like to an absolute perfection though, like loads of pressure, instant follow-up, no one able to get on Adysky, so he gets up to full HP instantly from this arrow, and they just crush the mid from there. That was cool to see, like a proper like implemented strategy. It's not something you see in TF2 every day, and it bodes well for the rest of the game.
Yeah, now they're peeking that lower area, and here they come with the Uber straight into this last. They've spotted the sentry, and that's going to be crucial if they can get that pick, and Hank is doing his dance to bring it down, and bring it down he will, but they've already dropped Denia, and they may drop even more, but a big bump forward by Tom. Oh, he gets taken down by Burntnose instead, and it's the reverse switcheroo as they're already getting all these frags. Hank on the back lines trying to get that damage in. He actually has fragged Burntnose to the helmet with Adysky. He picks up a 2k, and now it's just Condom and Sorex against Hank. If this man can do this, it's going to be absolutely brilliant, but Sorex has got the heals, and he's got the frag as well. That's a 2k for him as he defends that last point like an absolute professional, and he's already moving up to get some information for his team there, Kaidus.
Yeah, that was like almost a good push. Like they were put a lot of focus on the point early on, but then whilst Denia was sacking on the point, there was just nothing else really happening. He was kind of all or nothing banked on the fact that Denia would cap it, and once he didn't, no one had taken up like a good position. Like everyone had to come to the point to block it, but no one for comfortably spanked was in a position to capitalize. So it was actually like relatively stable though for both teams. Like obviously Condom should have had advantage after that, but Skeej left so early and managed to build his Uber. This kind of like in-betweeny bit has allowed Skeej to kind of catch up, and Lego know now they can't push. And Lego, they do this kind of quite unique setup on last that Tom's now just learning as he tries to sack in. Like they're always doing this really forward hold where they play with Condom on the little shed.
Yeah. This is going to be an attempt. Look at this now. Lego moving in slowly but surely, trying to make some plays happen here. And they've actually dropped. How has he dropped Condom with that? One pipe from Adysky. How do you get away with this? And here comes the Uber, going to be played now by Comfortably Spanked. And if they play this correctly, this is going to be beautiful for them. That sentry position doing a lot of work. How does this happen? They've just dropped 4 players, make it 5. What? Eisen with that sentry placement completely caught them off guard, and they're 6 down. Respawn's just coming up, but they're going to be capping up this second point.
So Condom blows. And then the entirety of Comfortably Spanked just managed to blow a little bit harder. Like 4 of them just walk into Sentry, and then 1 rocket kills all of them. Like that drop from Condom was just atrocious, but dear God, what a calamity of errors, all in sequence of each other. And Adysky now goes down as a fight.
Wow, okay, yeah, they're getting frags. They've got 2 already. Here can we go, big bomb forward. Denia just runs down Condom, gets the crucial pick, so Skeej is going to have some move advantage to work off, providing he gets out alive. And that is exactly what they needed, and that Sorex is going to be on the hunt along with Josh. They're going to be trying to get that frag onto Hank. They might just get it. What's Skeej doing? You're out of position. Okay.
Out of position pretty actually sums up that. What did he do? He just kind of like walked through the lobby, and then like it was like his like A key got stuck in or something. He just ended up strafing out of the door by accident straight into a soldier. Jesus Christ. We didn't really talk about it in the pregame, but I was going to say like both of these medics can be quite prone to like errors. Like I rate both of them as medics, but they're both those sorts of medics that just kind of make the big clangers, you know? Like 99% of their play is very sound, very solid, and they're actually good, but then the other 1% is just horrendous mistakes, and we've seen 1 from each of them now.
Yeah, no, this is exactly why we said in the pre-game we're going to be anticipating some scrappy Team Fortress 2 gameplay, and here we go. This looks like the lobby out. Did he just pick up Josh there with Sticker Champion?
Yeah, Sticker Trap on the barrels.
Yeah, it was a nice little pick for them, but ultimately, Lego going to be the ones holding that Uber advantage. Very slight, maybe about 30% to work off, and there's very defensive off classes coming out by the side of the comfortably spanked. But here we go, Uber going to be popped in straight away, going to be trying to kite them around to the best of their ability. Sentry going down straight away, and Denny has actually fallen to a lovely, nice little trap there by Phil, and they're just getting so many frags. 4 down already. Vanny gets a lovely little air shot, but it's all for naught. Skeej gets the saw, in fact. This has turned around a complete 180, and this could potentially be doable if they can salvage this for 6 more seconds of the respawn. The Uber's not going to last long enough. It's all up to Vanny really to make something happen, and ultimately it's too much to ask for the man as Lego do end up taking it 1-all in the end.
Yeah,
1-0.
That was like an interesting round. Obviously we had the mid that was like really interesting, where Comfortably Spanked just went to last, messed up the push, and then 2 like horrendous medic errors back and forth. But at the end of it, Lego just come in and they do like their first push on last is clinical. They take the round, and that's going to bode well for them, because that round was looking kind of iffy for them, and we talked about how they could be like prone to tilting and whatnot. So getting off to a 1-0 lead and redeeming themselves will probably help go quite a long way.
And here we go, this is the second mid-fight kicking off already. A lot of spam coming out onto Hank, and Tom with a big bomb forward, going to be trying to get that double soldier bomb kicking off. Vanny, oh, Tom in the back lines, completely destroying the medic combination, and they've already got 3 frags, including Condom. Make that 4 down. Eyes on and Dr. Phil, the only survivors in that engagement. Lego just dropping the ball a little bit, but a beautiful attempt by Tom there.
Yeah, another mid goes Comfortably Spank's way. Adysky was actually crucial on that mid. He got 2 frags. Like one of them was like really nice, like hit a pipe on a guy up top and finish him with a sticky. Did a lot of like work to control the high ground. Like if he misses these shots, then his team can lose control of that ground, and that actually can turn the mid the entire other direction. But as things stand, Skeej surviving mid again, 100% Uber advantage. Like they messed up this push before. Like the mistake they made before, when Denier pressured the point, which was the correct decision. Like no one's was set up like for the follow up. When all of Lego come out to play and they come out to contest the point, no one was there to really like do anything after that. So I want to see if they're going to correct this mistake this time.
Well, they've got this Uber advantage to work off, and a hefty one at that, as they look to slowly take the ground and get the buffs. And here we go, Uber going to be coming out, but they've actually dropped Hank to the sticky trap. He didn't flash him just in time, so they're already playing down for this push, and the positioning by Lego is absolutely brilliant for this. A little bit of cap time coming out, but I think it's all for naught. Adysky completely caught behind enemy irons there. Tom with a big bump forward. Oh my god, look at his aggression coming out now. Comfortably Spank actually take it. How?
I don't know.
How did they do that?
I literally don't know. I really don't feel like that should have worked. Like, as they Ubered in, dropping one scout, the other scout getting joggled away from the Uber, I have no idea. Like, if that was me, I'd probably just call to leave immediately when I see that as my entrance. Like, because obviously you don't want to wipe, like on Snake last, because then you give them a chance to push out for free. It's like a really nice second to lock down, even if you fail your push. But I don't know, they just kind of go on the point, and Lego don't do anything with the advantage they're gifted by that bad entry. Kind of like have to look at Lego there and say, how come they couldn't defend it, rather than what did anyone do to make the push work?
Well, here we are, another mid-fight, another day, and already these demo men getting off a lot of damage, and Tom has been a big factor in these mid-fights already, actually, very crucial. He's already behind, well, actually picking up that frag onto Josh, in fact. Beautiful shot by that man. Here comes Hank, very forward onto Dr. Phil with the spam by Adysky. Going to be following that up on the back line. Sorik's trying to make something happen, but he has fallen, and Vanny is doing a brilliant job of denying off that kitchen area. As Lego, they have no choice now but to back all the way out. Thankfully, they did not lose Condom in the process, so they are going to have this Uber Kaidus.
Yeah, they are going to get Uber, but the spawn times are not very favourable for them. Like Butlers and Sorik still got 3 seconds left. Dr. Phil looks like he wants to take a contest here. If he can get a nice trade off on this point, he can buy time for those spawns. But it's actually, he's not for Skeej yet. Skeej is popping so late, and this is actually really bad. All Lego can hope to do now is get out with 6 guys and survive. It looks like Skeej wants to play for the reset, but the Soul's actually just hard committed on Condom and found him. That's a really, really nice play by Vanny. And if they can just stabilise things now and keep everyone alive, they're going to be in a great position.
Oh, yeah, Lego are dropping players like flies now, and looking at this now, Sorik's trying to make something happen, and Eisen on the back lines made a brilliant play, but Tom, he's got the backup, and nobody's there to stop him at all. They're making mistakes after mistakes, but this is what we expected. Nonetheless, this scrappy level of TF2 is just kicking off completely, and Tom showing why he's the MVP so far. What's going on there? Wrong config? Nice. Nice, guys.
Okay, over. GG, boys. Hard fun.
Wow, okay. Nice. Whose server was this?
I'm guessing it's Legos because of the goofy chat. You see the funny little arrows and the goofy colors.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You can always tell it's a Lego server when you get that. But yeah, like just going back to that moment a minute ago. Like it's 1-1. There's 20 at the time. There was like 21.5 minutes left. You're 2 players down. You have a 3v4 situation with more players for Comfortably Spanked arriving when they finish capping mid. And you decide to pop out of top with a demo and solo trade onto the point. Like, I talked about this the other day when I casted another match. Like, this decision to pop out of Uber, like when you've already lost position on second, popping directly out of lobby is like, it's so iffy. Because if you lose that fight, you lose the round pretty much every time. Like, Tom got the back cap in this situation, but if Tom hadn't got the back cap there and just stayed on second, they'd probably clean up more frags and get a free walk onto last anyway. So the fact Lego would opt to do this with 21 minutes on the clock at a 1-1 score on Snakewater is, for me, that's like super questionable. Because Lego is a game where you really don't want to gift leads away, because it can be so hard to come back if the other team plays the right way. So really odd decision.
This is interesting now. Denny is actually running Sniper, and we talked a little about this actually. Running Sniper to mid, a bit questionable maybe. We'll see if it does pay off. Buttnose in that kitchen area. Big bomb forward by Josh as he's trying to make something happen. Denny trying to get off those pot shots. They do know now that he's running Sniper, and look at that aggression by Josh. Already so far forward. Coming out with Dr. Phil as he's putting in a lot of damage, but Vanny behind enemy lines. They're actually going to be able to pick him up. Lego's positioning maybe a little bit better here as they have picked up Vanny at the same time, but ultimately, I think they're just going to have to back all the way out of here, Kaidus. They could look to replay this, however.
I'm going to say, they look like they want to come back in, and I mean,
yeah.
It's not the worst decision in the world. Their HP is not great, but I mean, things are kind of scattered at the moment. Like, Lego weren't set up particularly well, but I mean, they get halfway in, they decide they're not going to opt for it. But I'm really intrigued by Comfortably Spanked so far, because there's 3 mids now, and they've all been so different. Like, they did the demo on top mid, which is completely unique in itself. They did a standard mid the second time, and now they do the sniper to mid. This one doesn't happen to work, but it was really close to working, despite the sniper not having much impact. So Lego, like, have absolutely no idea what to expect when they come to the next mid. Like, they've seen 3 completely different things, so yeah, they basically just have to come to mid blind. Like, they have no idea what to do, like not what to do, but like what to expect.
I think this is the first position we've been in where both teams are holding with this equal Uber quite close, and Vanny is getting a little bit aggressive there onto that mid, going to be trying to get some information for his team. He has ate a lot of damage, and Tom is actually the one to fall, and that's in that main area now, and so this is creating a lot of room to breathe already. I think they're still running Denny on Sniper. He's still actually trying to pick up those frags, but Izon is the man who's also off-classed, so it's going to be interesting to see if either side can pick up that crucial pick that they may... actually, as I say that, Uber going to be popped out by both these teams in that saw area, trying to make something happen. Josh wants nothing to do with it at all. He's backing all the way out. The wraparound coming out into that green area. They're looking to dry push us now, Kaidus.
Yeah, I've got to question the position with adysky at the moment. He's like not set up for this at all, and it's really his job, like when they push his grass, to get early damage in, and he hasn't really got any significant early damage in. Grass has been given away for free. Soldiers are now coming in, and adysky's been pushed all the way back to balcony. Tom turns a frag on Buttnose, which might actually end up being crucial. But I mean, if it's this fight kind of isn't going anywhere, Tom's actually found his way behind, but frags just kind of being traded. But I think Lego are actually getting the better end of this fight in the end.
Yeah, and Vanny actually killed himself in that engagement, but at the same time, the spam from Josh has picked up Skeej, so Condom is going to have a hefty Uber advantage to work off. And look at that, second cap already going to be coming up. Full spawns on the side of Lego. They're just going to wait this out, wait for buffs, take the time, and honestly, they should have an easy time at this Kaidus, pushing straight in.
Yeah, people are saying Lego have strats now, because like that was like an execution. Like, you don't, like, that wasn't like random. Lego do a trade on one side, they do a full team rotate on the other, and it works completely. I mean, I really have to question adysky, because I don't know, like, if I'm thinking about the way, like, the best team in Europe, Nameless, play, they would have a demo sitting on that little ledge, spamming grass before those guys can even walk in, and adysky was not there to deny anything, but we currently see an Uber coming in from Lego.
Yeah, absolutely, going to be trying to make those plays happen. They've actually dropped Dr. Phil to a sticky trap, adysky picking up that frag and claiming it for himself, but at the same time, adysky has fallen as well. This sentry gun has done a lot of denial for this push, and they might have actually beefed this to a certain degree. Josh is going to pick up that frag onto Hank, who's overextending a certain amount. Vanny just going to escape with his life after picking up Josh. A lot of cap time, well, I say a lot of cap time, a little bit of cap time. Tom gets completely shut down there. Beautiful shot by Buttnose, going to be sending him right back to the stratosphere as he's trying to escape with his life, and this fight is still kicking off. What the hell is going on? Buttnose on absolutely no health at all. He's trying to get off that early damage. He is going to fall in the end to the chip shots from Hank, and ultimately that's going to be a bit of a beef push there by Lego as Comfortably Spanked look to re-push this Kaidus straight into second.
Yeah, they lack synchronization. Like, both Josh and Izon made like singular plays for the point, again, like alone. No one like following up, ready to actually do anything with the trade. But I'm gonna say, the Ubers are kind of all over the place at the moment. Like, Skeej had advantage, then he lost advantage, but now he's actually gained advantage. But they're actually making a decision to push the mid off of one scout pick. Lego should have Uber by now. They don't quite have it, so they're set up quite awkwardly. They're just kind of walking in. They're doing such an early pop though. I think they thought they had advantage, but they totally don't have advantage, and they need to just scamper now. Like, they've split the way they're falling out. One of these guys surely has to die.
Oh wow, Dr. Phil, great to know by him. He's actually juggled Skeej, but he has got out of his life, and those pills are going to be what finishes him off in the end with the help of Izon, and really comfortably spanked in a very uncomfortable position. Tom goes for the big bomb forward into that basically behind enemy lines, but Buttnose is the one to get the frag in the end. At the same time, chasing a little bit too deep there, Josh is the one going to be paying for his life, and ultimately, LEGO once again, a very back and forth game that we're seeing so far. They are going to be capping up that second point and just dry pushing this straight in with the Uber and with the buffs.
Yeah, they've got to see the heavy and leave though. Like, when you get there and you see the heavy, you know you can't take this fight dry. Yeah. Like, it's like probably the most, like, the best thing about the heavy is it just completely puts down any chance.
Oh, that was a beautiful attempt by him. He got off two. Actually, the second rocket was quite a nice one there, but Skeej surfed away just in the nick of time and did manage to escape with his life in the end. So yeah, you can't fault him for those plays.
Yeah, things are going to stabilise, I think, with a stalemate. Denio's on sniper. LEGO don't have anything going on in terms of off classes though, so I guess we're probably going to see some kind of sack. Josh is on 4 HP and sneaky, which probably isn't. That's not the most ideal situation to be, I wouldn't imagine. Gets a frag in the end, but I mean, this frag isn't really going to mean anything. It's kind of one of those meaningless frags that, like, it just kind of slows everything down. Yeah. You can't push off of it. You can't really do anything with it. Ison actually goes down. Maybe they want to do something with that. I don't know. Maybe a counter sack. Vanny or Tom maybe looking to do something. It doesn't look like it though. I think they're just content to let Denia do his work.
Yeah, this is it's quite interesting now. Wow, I wouldn't push off a single scout pick anyway, but I just think quarter last is one of those lasts that's quite easy to defend. And here we go. I think this is a double soldier aggression coming out onto that flank area. Going to be trying to make something happen, but they've actually paid with Buttnose's life in the end. Sorex is getting a little bit aggressive there. Going to see if he can pick off at least one straggler, but ultimately going to have to back all the way off. So still equal Uber being held by both these teams. And just waiting for that crucial pick to potentially make something happen.
Be interested to see if LEGO do anything with this.
Look at Denia. Look at Denia. Look how close he is on Spy. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but this is... Yeah, no, he's too late. They've actually Ubered in already, but if he can pick off any stragglers at the same time... Izon on Dr. Phil are not pushing in whatsoever, and the Uber's actually coming out. I think they just wanted to trade that and see what happens. But still, he's just waiting. Oh, he just gets the frag onto Dr. Phil. I thought he was about to beef that, but he did manage to pick it up, and that's 2 frags. Josh and Dr. Phil going down. I think they're going to be very happy to push off that Kaidus.
Especially with the Ubers out of the way, like often when you get frags from Lars, it's hard to do anything with because you know you have to trade the Ubers and the respawns come in so fast that you can't do a whole lot. But the fact that Demo's down, meanwhile the Ubers are out of the way. Buttnose is in, and Buttnose is doing absolutely nothing. He's just getting skied there, and they're gonna get second. They're gonna have 1 pick on Buttnose, but I wouldn't expect them to do anything with this. I think they're just gonna take second, be happy to that off their own last, and stabilize. Because last time they were in this position, pushing off last, they gave the whole round away by doing an absolutely ridiculous push to mid, a complete mistiming of the Ubers. And not this time though, they're just going to stabilize. But Adysky needs to like wake up, because last time we saw LEGO just do this straight trade and rotate, and Adysky wasn't ready for it, and it really comes down to him or one of the soldiers to at least be ready for this rotation once the trade happens. But we'll see. Like, LEGO actually had an advantage if they'd been paying careful attention, but it's even out now.
And they were looking like they wanted to take that through Saw for a second, and they still are quite peeking it a bit aggressively there. Josh going to be trying to get some information for his team, and actually here comes the aggression by Comfortably Spanked. They've actually picked up Josh in the end. Nice little trap bar, nice little sticky placement there by Adysky, going to be finishing him off in the end. However, still 1 pick, not enough to really push off when both teams have this Uber, and the positioning not really telling of what's going to happen just yet. Sorex going to be trying to get some information for his team, but ultimately we're just left in this classic scenario that we do see Snake Water so often.
Yeah, and comfortably Spanked kind of showing that 1 pick doesn't mean anything to them. So I would, like, if this was me and I see that I can lose a player and nothing's going to happen, not even like a vague attempt, then I'm probably just going to sack a few times now. I mean, what's the score? We don't have it on our scoreboards. It's 2-1 to...
So Comfortably Spanked.
To Comfortably Spanked, so okay. I guess it's 12 minutes. LEGO actually have to do something with this 12 minutes then. As they're actually just kind of walking.
They're just taking up all this, they're taking up a lot of room here, and they're not getting punished for it at all. Tom is the first to jump forward, going to be trying to make something happen, but he's been spammed all the way out on 50
Again,
HP.
What is
going to have to back him all the way out. I don't know, he's trying to lock off that area, but Buttnose has picked up a D-skin in the end. Vanny going to be trading, Uber finally going to be popped off, and this is going to be a much better Uber coming out by Condom now as he's just popped it off. Tom going to be paying with his life, big bump forward, but Dr. Phil, and he's picked up Skeej, and here comes a Condom. He's in that lower area. He might actually get chased down here. Here comes the counter aggression now by Company Spanked. They do have the players, but ultimately the frags are coming out in full force for LEGO as they've just dropped so many players. Denia, the only one to survive. They know where he is, and one rocket is going to be enough to finish him off. So really, it was a bit of an odd engagement there on that second point.
Yeah, odd is one word for it. I was going to go with atrocious, awful, miraculously terrible. Like, the entire LEGO team, bar their flank, walks in on grass, and adysky and Skeej, not only are they completely in the wrong place by focusing Storeroom there, like they're holding the wrong side, they actually get forced in that position, have an absolutely awful Uber, but then in spite of all of that, it turns into such an even fight, and LEGO only just managed to win it. So, really, like, a sequence of errors, LEGO not playing tight when they gain this advantage, but the way Comfy Spank gave them this advantage in the first place, and it's almost the exact same mistake I called adysky out for before. Like, when the combo walks in grass, like, you have to be ready for that. Like, it's a demo's dream if you see like 4 people walking through this choke.
Yeah, here we go. Uber's actually going to be popped out there. The heavy off class onto Hank. Going to be doing a decent amount of denial, and here comes the Uber. It's going to be much better coming out by the Comfortably Spanked guys. They've lost their Uber advantage that they did have. Saw it going to be picking up that frag onto Tom, and at the same time, this is a lot of damage. Josh still behind enemy lines. Is going to get focused down by Denia very quickly. But here comes the counter aggression, if you like. This is a big play coming out now. At the same time, Vanny behind enemy lines, trying to make something happen, actually picking up a lot of frags. Eyes on picks up Vanny in the end. Is he going to pick up Denia? He's on 2 HP. He gets 1 frag onto a DST. Can he pick up the third? I do not know. He's beefing a lot of shots. Is he going to hit Denia? The movement on this man. He finally dies. Tom is one of the only survivors against Eyes on, and this could potentially work out in their favour as Tom is on no health at all. He's going to be trying to pre-fire that corner. Ultimately going to be falling. It's just Condom, and they beefed that push once again. It was looking so good for them. Eyes on with the 4K.
That was ridiculously close. I mean, by the end of it, like, I'm surprised Eisen didn't actually get it. It just took him so long to finish Tom off in the end, but I mean, he completely salvaged that situation. But from everything I'm seeing, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from LEGO so far. Like, a lot of the stuff they're doing, it's just fairly simple, and a lot of it's working mainly down to Comfy Spank making a lot of errors, but it's like a really nice base for them. I feel like I can see the theory behind what they're doing, and they're doing it together. They're playing as a pack, and they're just basically against a weaker opposition. They know that if they just play tight, the mistakes are going to come to them, and they almost get the round there. They probably deserved it based on all the play they did, but I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and Daniel's going to be picking up that nice little sniper pick there. Going to be trying to make something happen, but LEGO, they're smart enough to know that they don't really have to peek any corners at all into Denia's sightline, so they're just going to be holding this quite passively, actually, just waiting for that Uber because they were at a disadvantage. Now it's going to be pretty much built up to speed, so they may look to retake this lobby area. And still 2-1 under scoreline to the side of Comfortably Spanked. LEGO need to get something done very quickly with only 9 minutes on the clock, Kaidus.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the fact that Eisen's on sniper, they don't really have much choice but to let him snipe for a little while. I mean, in theory, like, Skeej is playing this position I talked about earlier. Like, only Skeej and Condom play this position that I see at the moment, where they kind of, by default, have the medic on the hut, 2 soldiers controlling top right, with Demo sticking either lower or left, but the Demo actually goes down, so that's opening everything up, and Josh is just going to walk it in, shotgun at the ready.
Here we go. Uber's going to be exchanged by both these teams, but they're already a player down, losing that Demo man. Not a wonderful sight, but at the same time, they've lost Eyes on. He was only playing sniper, so technically they were kind of a man down, and Denia picks up Condom. Nice little shot by him with the body shot, going to be finishing him up as Josh is just getting those exit frags as he's trying to escape with his life on 22 HP. He is going to pick up that pack in the end. But look at this back up by Dr. Phil! Look at this cap time! Here we go, big bomb forward by them. Zorix and Butnose going to be trying to make something happen. Zorix picks up Skeej of all people, and he's going to pick up Fanny as well. Josh going to be trying to get that damage off with the shotgun. Bit of an antiquated pickup by him, and he's on! He's actually captain for his team. The repush by LEGO paying off.
That was... I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, they kind of just... They got a slight advantage, and there was just, I don't know, everything kind of worked for LEGO on every door. Like, they just found a frag on every door. Like, Dr. Phil got a trap lower, someone picked some guy in lobby, but the repush was really nice. Like, the way they all just kind of go in together. Phil starting off with the back cap just brings everyone to the point. Just like, yeah, nice coordinated focus fire from LEGO in the end there. I mean, they deserve this round in the end. The way they get it right at the end there is a little bit weird, but they did enough good play in the round to deserve it.
Well, here we go, it's currently an even scoreline, and we already see Vanny taking the aggression straight to them. Condom, nice little surf by him. These rockets, this double soldier bomb attempt, not paying off at all, as Izon has punished Tom completely. At the same time, you're going to be trying to make these frags happen and make them, they potentially will, as Vanny is going for round 2, all the way very deep, and his team's there to back him up this time, and they've already picked up 4 frags. Now, again, the counter aggression coming out, but it's ultimately not going to be enough, as adysky is going to finish him up with a quite quick and easy little pipe. And finally, pretty much a complete white Buttnose immediately off classing to Spy.
Yeah, that bit was really, really well played from Comfortably Spanked. Like, the first frag, like, the opening, Vanny turning heads, taking position, but not only that, like, there was 2 people behind, like, one actually behind in Saw, who was tracked the whole way by one of the scouts, and then Sorex just makes, like, a rush in from Kitchen, like, completely unseen, but, like, they just have everyone alert for anything that could go wrong. They're all just, like, super prepared for things like this to happen, and they just focus them down. Skeej stays alive, doesn't even get weak. So, I'm actually really, really impressed by this game so far, considering how awful I found the last Comfortably Spanked match, and how questionable Lego can be at times. Like, this game's actually quite nice.
Now, Buttnose on Spy is slowly making the rounds, and I don't think they realise that they've got this uber advantage to work off. Oh, here we go, they've finally popped it off. They're going to be trying to make something happen. Buttnose is, remember, still on Spy, and he's picked up Hank behind enemy lines, but at the same time, Izon going to do his darndest on Heavy, actually picking up 1 frag in the end, and this is looking like a pretty solid defence by the side of Lego, doing a wonderful job so far. Denia doing a lot of damage, actually is going to fall with his life in the end. Vanny going to be trying to pick up that frag onto Condom. It's not going to be enough, as Josh finishes him up with a 2k along with Sorex, and that is a nice little defence there by Lego, really well played by them.
Yeah, Comfortably Spanked really need to think about their last pushes. Like, I mean, to be fair to them, 2 out of 3 have had some weird thing happening when they enter. If it's not a sticky trap kill on a scout, this time it's a spy kill on a scout, which is always kind of super random and throws doubt in your mind. But the thing I notice is, as their Uber's fading, they've not taken any position. Like, they're all on the low ground on grass, which is, it's really not where you want to end up. Like, as the Uber fades, you want to be in a position that gives you an advantage, and they're just on the low ground, like, stuck in a reload cycle. They're not really doing anything with the Uber. They need to, if they could correct this mistake, they'd probably be ahead at the moment.
Yeah, well, Josh taking the aggression straight to them. Tom! Oh, just gets the force onto Condom. Great play by him. Going to be forcing them a little bit too earlier than they were anticipating, I believe. And Skeej, he's backed out with a massive Uber advantage. They could potentially replay off as soon as they get their players, but Lego going to be rolling deep off that 2-man advantage straight into the second point. Going to be capping it up fairly rapidly as well. Oh my god, adysky's picked up Condom!
Oh no, are you joking? Condom was standing on that trap for like 5 seconds. He was on the right of the logs, and he's just... like, he's on it, and then he's just dithering around on it for like 10 seconds, and then adysky just like, I don't even know. I don't know.
This is yeah, a bit bizarre. A lot of frags happened on either side, actually. Going to be dropping 2 players. Buttnose behind enemy lines on absolutely no health at all. He's going to be picking up that small health pack and still just camping there. I don't think they actually realise he is there. However, the members of Lego are slowly but surely beginning to return to their places. Buttnose is going to fall behind enemy lines in the end. And here we go. Big play forward. Skeej is already on no health at all. Sorex just runs him down. 1 shot is enough to finish him up, apparently. And that's no medic now for the side of Comfortably Spanked. They're just dropping their medic constantly. Both teams, in fact, making misplay after misplay. adysky trying to make something happen with a big bomb forward. His team's going to back him up. Vanny, very nice little attempt by him, but ultimately going to be getting completely shut down by the better positioning. And here we go. Tom is still watching around that saw area. Not going to be making much happen, unfortunately. But here we go. This is the repush now by Lego as they're looking to make some plays. They're pushing straight through that kitchen area. Tom with a big bomb forward might actually pick up Condom, but a beautiful surf by that man is going to make pretty much no picks possible at all. And here we go already. Backing out completely. Comfortably Spanked, no, they've got no room to breathe. They've got no Uber advantage. They cannot contest this whatsoever.
They probably don't realise how much of a mess they're actually in at the moment as well, because Lego are already walking in grass. They're going to get second for free, and from being in a position where they didn't have mid, they're actually going to have a chance to push last now with almost like with a massive advantage. Like, Tom's just spawning now, so there's no attempt at a force being made, and the walk's already happening. They're walking in from lower right now, and the demo's out of position. There's not going to be stickies on the point. And either that or he's going to be like out of position.
Here we go. Uber's going to be popped down. Sentry gun immediately going to be going down. Uber going to be forcing Tom off to basically half. It's a beautiful headshot to Josh, and that's going to be enough to finish him off. And this defense is looking doable. It's 2 down on both these sides. Sorex is going to fall to Hank in the end, of all people. And now here we go. The repush coming out by Comfortably Spanked as they're just cleaning these members up. Condom going to be falling. Hank is just destroying. Picked up 4 players on that point then. Unbelievable stuff. And he's going to be capping up this second point with his team. I don't know how they turned that around, to be honest, Kaidus. They had a massive Uber advantage. They could have taken that any way they wanted.
Yeah, I honestly have absolutely no idea what either of these teams is trying to do when they push last, because it just seems like they Uber in and then what? Like nothing seems to happen of any like sense. Like they're not focusing the point, they're not like taking a position together. It seems like every player on the Uber has a different idea of what they want to do, but in the meantime, Lego have a triple back cap going on, so that's not
What?
great.
How did these gimmicks get through? Eyes on is the man on last. Can he take this 1v1 against Denier? It's pretty much all on him, but he's got the backhand from Sorex as well. And the chip shots might be enough. Here comes the cap, the double bomb! Unbelievable defense just coming out in the nick of time. Adysky picks it up with the help of his good friends there. I don't know who the soldier was with him, but Vanny kills himself! How? Skeej picks up Buttnose in the end, but this is just scrappy TF2 all over. Second point eventually, hopefully going to be coming on the side of comfortably Spanked if they let no gimmicks happen, but here comes the plays by Lego, already trying to take up that green area, trying to deny it. Josh, the very forward bomb by him, going to be trying to make some plays happen, going to be picking up that large outback, and he's actually picked up one frag. Sorex picking up the second one as Hank has fallen, and this is going to be the point. The second point capped once again in the favour of Lego. So back and forth. What in God's name is happening in this game?
I have no idea. I forgot it was a cast.
They're pushing with Uber. They're pushing with Uber again. How have they got this? Denier on heavy. He's going to be trying to do his darndest to keep them off, but he's being completely glided off the point, and they play it absolutely brilliantly. And that is finally one round. They've taken it, basically holding it above comfortably Spank's head with only a minute left on the map. This is into the realms of impossibility, is it not?
Well, it's possible, but it's really, really tough. I mean, Izon's going NG to mid, so maybe it's not possible. I mean, I assume he's not going NG to mid, he's actually building a gun on last, so I think it's probably not possible in light of that, but in fact, they're just outright not going to mid. The whole team's on second, they're just going to put up a little, like, delay on second, and then fall back to the gun on last. I mean, like, they're recognizing this now, they have 38 seconds. It's technically possible, but it's going to be really, really difficult.
It's down to the wire, the sticky trap on the logs area, not going to be picking up anyone, and look at this, cap time already coming out. They need to play this very carefully, but look at this defensive off-classing. The sentry in the very familiar position that we did see, actually picked up that 5k with the help of them before. Let's see if it tries to work its magic once again, as they've got the heavy off-class as well. This is going to be, they have to play this to absolute perfection now. 16 seconds on the clock, Denier is very far forward, going to try and force down Sorex, eventually going to be bringing him down, going to be playing that cap time, but the sentry doing a lot of work, and here comes the Uber, finally coming out. Skeej just has it in the nick of time, 4 seconds remain on the clock, and ultimately I think this is it. It's GG in the end. Lego have taken the first map, and it's going to be going to process of the second one, Kaidus.
Yeah, that was a cool game. Like, there was a lot of mistakes, but these are the mistakes like I like to see. Like, when I can actually tell what mistakes a team is making, it's sad to say, but it's a refreshing change from some of the things I've seen lately. You know what I mean? Like, there's enough structure to this game, and I can see enough intention and thought behind what both of these teams are doing that makes it a really, really interesting game. And really super close in the end. And I really love what Lego did at the end there. Like, I don't know why more teams don't do this. It's like an alpha male, like, pride thing, where you're seen as a sissy for not going to mid at the end and playing for the win. But who knows what happens if Lego goes to that mid at the end. They could get crushed and just they get heartbroken, but they just take control of the situation, and they just create a world where there is no chance they can lose. Rather than just going to mid and having a slight chance they can lose, they're just like, no, we're not going to lose. We do this perfect thing, and there's no way we can lose.
Well, we do have the logs up finally coming up. Immediately, the first man that points out to me is, I mean, Josh has the highest damage per minute, but how many heals did he take at the end of the day? That's the important thing. He was running shotgun, wasn't he, throughout that game? So it's going to be eating up quite a few of them.
Are these the first logs or the second logs? Because there was obviously 2 parts of the game.
Yeah. These are going to be the second logs then. Yeah, that's a good point. Well,
seems a bit unfair.
Well spotted,
we're looking at the logs where Lego only won their rounds in them. So,
yeah.
But even in spite of that, they still have like 3 out of the 4 top damages. So that tells you kind of how close the rounds were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's incredibly close games that we saw throughout the entire game. It was an incredibly close scoreline as well. We saw a mixture of gimmicks. We saw sniper to mid of all things. We talked about it that we didn't think it was going to happen, but it ended up did in the end. I think we threw it out there as a possibility, but ultimately Lego showing that, you know, those times on tactics.tf clearly paying off there in their fullest, as you said, Kaidus, you're pleased to see that they're finally trying out some actual concise team play for once.
Yeah, I mean, the main things that I saw, like, they're just like exploiting this kind of like the slow pace that, not the slow pace, but kind of the slow reactions that the Comfortably Spanked would have. Like, they just start a fight somewhere, back out and rotate to another position, and it takes kind of Comfortably Spanked, like, it's like a buffer of like 5 seconds where Comfortably Spanked realize there's no longer a fight in this one particular area, and they're just completely not set up for it in the next area. But I was going to say, my train of thoughts choo-chooed away somewhere.
I got a little question for you. What's your thoughts on Shotgun Pocket, given that we've seen it being ran this game?
I don't know. How much was he doing it? Was he doing it on mids? I didn't really pick up on if he had it.
Is throughout the entire game, according to David, which I'm going to trust. He's a smart guy. So yeah,
I'm not sure. Like, I mean, I don't think it makes tons of difference. If the I don't really know, to be honest. I'm kind of like I'm undecided. Like, it seems like something that should make sense to pull out for certain situations, but I feel like a really strong team, you're just going to be at a natural disadvantage in so many situations by having a shotgun all of the time. Like, if the other team has a pocket who's playing dynamically enough, you just like with shotgun, you can't react to the same situations as he can.
Yeah.
So if you're just throwing different situations at this shotgun pocket and he's limited in his mobility, like in some situations it's not going to matter and he's going to be completely fine and have an extra weapon to use. But if you notice like the other team still were using like the way it was like back in the day when kind of the double gunboats became a thing, the teams that weren't running double gunboats, they had to adapt because they realized there was just less situations they were set up to cope with than the other team, and the other team would just dictate the pace. So the fact it's kind of like, you know, it's like a cycle. We've kind of gone back to shotgun now, but as soon as teams remember like why shotgun got eradicated in the first place, they're going to start playing this way again.
Yeah.
And it's gonna turn up problems at a later date. But for now, because teams are kind of just they're used to everyone running gunboats, it's not really a thing in their head. They'll probably get away with it.
Well, we do have 6 on either side. We haven't really talked about these logs too much. Currently on the screen, we are seeing this the relative frags by zone. We do see very even across the board. Not really too much on one side to the other, but Lego the ones that are showing more dominant for the first half of that game that we saw anyway. Mid fights ultimately, except the mid fights, which were ultimately won by Comfortably Spanked. They did win the first 3 mid fights, so that is a quite important note to make before Lego eventually made their comeback of the, well, not the century, but I guess you can just call it a comeback. But
yeah, this was the problem with Comfortably Spanked. They were winning the mids, but they were beefing last pushes. Like they had, I can think of 3 clear cut uber advantage, comfortable, like we have time to set up and go with this. Like we don't have to rush anything. We don't have to worry about them getting uber mid push. Like those kind of clear cut uber advantage pushes that they had, and they were abysmal. I mean, one was just bad. Then he went for the point and no one helps him, and the other 2 they got an awful entry. One time both scouts get like crushed by a sticky trap. Like one just gets juggled away from the uber and the other one dies, and the third one, like a spy kills a scout and they don't really know how to react. They kind of just don't do anything. They're like deer in headlights. They all freeze on the low ground, and by the time the uber fades, they haven't got a plan, they haven't got a position, and they're just kind of screwed. So if you think back to these and like the mids they won, they earned the right to win the game, but they just couldn't convert on last. But it says something that Lego are consistently losing mid, defending their last. Granted, it requires a mistake from Comfortably Spanked for them to be able to defend their last, but then they're taking the round back the whole way.
Well, we didn't actually talk about those logs too much at all, but here we go. This is map number 2 that's going to be kicking off on CP Process of all the maps between Lego and Comfortably Spanked. If you're just joining us, we just did witness map number 1. It went in the way of Lego. Very, very close finish in the end. And here we go. This mid fight kicking off straight away. It is getting Dr. Phil getting to that mid. Pretty reasonable time. Big bump forward by Tom's going to be getting off a little bit of denial from Dr. Phil. He's already on half health, and they're just going to be waiting, trying to play this slowly but surely. Tom's actually got the drop onto Dr. Phil. Big bump forward by Josh. Going to be trying to make some plays happen, but at the same time, Skeej is the one to fall to Sorex in the end, and they picked up a lot of frags in the end. Condom still alive. He's going to be trying to back out with eyes on. In fact, he is indeed going to be backing out. So Comfortably Spanked the ones going to be winning this mid fight in the end. Kaido, unfortunately, not going to be picking up Condom, so they are going to be able to cap up the second, but not in a position to push straight into last.
Yeah, the respawns are coming quite late for Lego though. So in theory now we're going to see an opportunity for Comfortably Spanked to get like a little bit of a setup. Like Adysky's already sticky, he was there nice and late to sticky, and there's going to be buffs on choke before Lego are pushing. So we could be seeing like this kind of leapfrog scenario. For some reason Iceland's on sniper, which is kind of odd. But assuming Lego push it, like the dream for Comfortably Spanked is they get a force and a chance to repush. But Tom's already going down, no force has happened, Condom's on 70 HP, and it's a really weird setup they're doing. Adysky's in sewers. They have a sniper, so I guess they're just kind of banking on the sniper to do something, but based on Phil's position, they know there's a sniper, and they've just given second away for free. And Lego already moving through PC, actually.
Yeah, this is nice. This is the aggression you'd like to see again. Denny are going to be trying to make something happen, but he's been completely jumped on by Josh, and he's going to be the first to pay with his life. And adysky just going to be trying to spam them out of those pipes. Ultimately, not going to be enough as Lego. They're just taking all the room they can, basically. They're giving so much room away, but can you blame them when they had that much of an Uber disadvantage? And here we go. This is the attempt. Lego already taking it all the way in. They still have this Uber to work with. Josh with a very forward aggression. Dr. Phil going to be getting those early stickers off. Does eat a rocket in the process, but ultimately, they're going to be the winners of this Spire point as well.
Jesus
and they're,
Christ.
they're taking a lot of spam, actually. What's going on there? Is that adysky's pills coming straight at him, or?
Not sure, but Spanked just literally gave the entire map away for free.
Yeah.
They had 6 guys, all with buffs, when Lego began their push onto second, and without taking a single fight, they're back on their last. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, they didn't do anything. From last to last, they just walked backwards and let Lego walk forwards, and did nothing. No sags, no spam, no fight, nothing. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what the hell? And now they're looking like they want to try and push. Like, what the hell are they doing? I don't understand this game so far.
It's a bit of a bizarre setup. They're holding in that upper IT area. They can just really, I think they're just trying to bank on buttnose on that sniper class. I'm just going to wait to see if anybody's going to overextend, potentially get a pick that they need. But you know, aggression by both teams is just really peaking us, trying to make something happen, and just trying to crack into this last point potentially. But from what we saw of Snakewater, I wouldn't be surprised if one team's going to make a mistake sooner or later. So I'd imagine this game is going to be kicking off fairly shortly, and as I say that, they're looking to make a push through that shit area, but already Tom, looking at denial by him, he's done a great job of really calling it out and getting off a lot of spam. Buttnose slowly but surely peeking around that corner, might pick up Tom, and indeed he does! The up-close sniper pick is going to be what seals the deal, as here we go. Uber going to be hopped out. Skeej just pops it, a slight Uber advantage for them, but ultimately not really enough. The positioning by Lego is quite passive in this engagement. Josh is very far forward. He's going to be picked up with ease, actually, by the side of comfortably Spanked, and ultimately, I don't think they can really play this at all. But no, still on sniper, trying to make some plays happen, but he's been caught out in that lobby area, and he's going to pay with his life. So Lego, I don't really... no, I mean, they were in a position to play off that, but they just kind of half-assed it.
Yeah. Company Spanked is going to take over a second. Like, the spawns are pretty much all going to come in. Now the question is just, are they going to try and push mid with this one pick, or are they going to sit back? I mean, in this position, we saw Company Spanked give the entire map away for free, so surely they feel like they have the chance to push, like, based on their concept of the game. Or are they just going to be, like, inconsistent? I guess they're going to be inconsistent. They're just staying up on second. Even though when they were in this position, they would happily just give up the whole map. So that's kind of weird. Playing with some fear, it seems. This isn't, like, natural decision making. They do... Like, you know, they have like one idea of the game when they're like in that position, but then when it's the other way around, they don't have the confidence to do what they expected the other team to do. Do you know what I'm saying? I haven't explained it very well.
Not really, but I'm gonna. I understand what you mean. It's
you know what I mean?
bizarre to see. Not really, but I'm gonna say yes anyway. You know.
You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying, Bren.
I kind of know what you mean. Buttnose is a bit far forward there. He might just be sacking to try and make some plays happen, but ultimately. He is going to be one pick on their side. And they've actually picked up a second one. Josh getting caught out of position of all people. And now, here we go. This is an attempt through the sewer area. Vanny going to be forced all the way back out. Both scouts trying to make some plays happen. Adysky has been completely shut down. Uber going to be popped out by both these teams now. And Lego, they're looking like they're the superior team right now, as we do see them trying to make some plays happen. Going to be flashing to Denny. Going to be keeping him spick and span. And at the same time, getting a lot of frags. They've already picked up 2 players. Dr. Phil and Eisen falling to their sides. Big bump forward coming in by Tom on the backlines. Is going to finish them up. And that is 5 down. Condom fell in the process of that in the end. Josh, one of the only survivors, and he pretty much just respawned as that was kicking off, because he paid with his life, didn't he, quite early on. So you know, a bit of a misplay by Lego, but kind of nicely played by Comfortably Spanked.
Yeah, they just committed. Like, they had enough advantage in the fight that they could make mistakes, and as long as they were committing together, they were going to win it anyway. Like, they don't win it clean because they make a lot of mistakes, but when you start a trade with a 2-man advantage, like, you got a lot of wiggle room to make your own mistakes and still win the fight. And yeah, they knew this. They played with balls, and they just win the fight in the end. And luckily, Vanny gets in and gets Condom, because obviously they can do everything else. If they don't kill the medic, then they're just going to have their mid taken straight back, but they trade medics, so... Yeah, they have a chance to do something on last now. I mean, it is just kind of stay away, but Skeej has actually gone crits, so things are actually going to happen very soon.
Oh, this is going to be interesting. I mean, that sentry gun that's going to be... That might actually be a detriment to this crit scree, because they look to take this in the lobby. They're getting a lot of information, actually, and they're going to be trying to... They've actually popped it off already. Dr. Phil going to be the one to pay with his life. Going to be trying to make some more happen, but the passive hold coming out by the side of Lego, just putting in so much work. Sentry gun is going to go down. Here comes the Uber, going to be popped out now. At the same time, Denia and Tom behind enemy lines, just really dodging and juking for days. Josh picks up one frag onto Denia. Can he get any more? That is the question. It's really one man against the world as Buttnose at the big bump forward. Going to be trying to make those plays happen. A lot of captain already. Skeej just trying to saw men down onto the point, not going to be making anything happen, and ultimately a complete wipe on the side of Comfortably Spanked as Lego just wiping the floor with them. You kind of expected it with the Uber that they did pop out, but it was looking a bit scrappy there towards the end.
Yeah, it was just such a weird crits. It was kind of interesting. Like, they gave the first few stickies to adysky, then swapped it to the soldier, and adysky had this like one charge sticky left at the end. Like, he just charged a sticky, got the last flash of crits, and sent it flying. And if he hits that sticky, that's a completely different fight, because it was aimed for Josh, the pocket, and it might have actually tagged Condom as well, and that would have changed the entire fight, but he completely whiffed the sticky. He put it like, he threaded it through the eye of the needle, so it went through all potential 3 targets and did 0 damage to anyone. But if that sticky had hit, then yeah, the whole fight's different from there.
Yeah, no, this is quite interesting to see. Adysky, very forward bomb by him, but Lego really not giving much room to breathe. But here comes the Uber. Buttnose going to be going, wow, he's actually, Condom's the one to drop him, and it's only Dr. Phil with this Uber. He needs to back out, otherwise they're going to be in a sticky situation. Vanny's going to do his darndest to try and deny them from really escaping from this unharmed, and Condom the one to fall to the side of Tom. Nice little sniping him across the map with that rocket there. A lot of frags coming out as Josh is the one to actually trade in the end with his own life. Hank the one to pick him up. Izon going to fall as well, trying to escape in those back lines, but ultimately 3 frags, second point being capped. Comfortably Spanked looking hot right now as they're looking to push all the way in. Vanny picked up Dr. Phil. Uber going to be popped out. Buttnose going to be trying to make some plays happen. It's one man against the world. I don't think he's going to be able to do it as they've taken so much room. Adysky, 1 pill, 2 pill. It's going to be enough to stop the might of Lego as they finally take the first round in this game. Almost 10 minutes in Kaidus. 1-0.
Yeah. I don't really know what to make of this game so far, man. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's weird. Like, it's kind of like a lot of mistakes are being made, but the other teams are playing off the mistakes like quite well, if I'm being honest. It's not like where it's just one mistake leads to another mistake. They're kind of being capitalized on, and so far, I guess, the most critical capitalization happened from Comfortably Spanked.
And now Denia on sniper to that mid, and it's actually coming to fruition straight away. Dr. Phil the one to pay with his life, and here we go. Josh trying to make some plays happen, going to be creating those distraction plays behind enemy lines. Lego pretty much worse for wear because of it. They're a bit weaker on this point, and Buttnose is the one to pay with his life. They're already 2 men down. They need to commit to Skeej here. They need this medic pick. They're trying to commit to it. Sorik's trying to make some plays happen. Can they do it? Eyes on. It's just trying to pepper him from across the map, but ultimately it's all for naught. Condom is going to escape, however. But at what cost? You know, they've lost a lot of players. They're going to be giving up the second point, and both teams are going to have Uber at the end of the day. Skeej with it slightly faster as Condom wasn't healing anyone, but ultimately I don't think it's going to be enough to play off anything.
Yeah, this mid was a pile of garbage from Lego. I'm not really sure what their plan was, but like Buttnose goes behind, and there's like kind of one by one, like no one pressures Adysky. So when these 2 players commit really far forward for Lego, like Adysky can just spam and deny everyone from following, because not a single player shot at him the entire mid. Like if you're going to play an aggro mid like this, you have to focus the demo, because he's the guy who's going to, like with 2 stickies, he can shut the whole thing down, but no one shoots at him. So it's just a gifted mid from Lego. There actually is a sack on Skeej. I saw it
big sack
deep,
Buttnose behind enemy lines. He picks up a Adysky of all people. I don't know how that wasn't punished, but that's 2 frags for them. Buttnose, you know, is going to be respawning fairly shortly. 10 seconds on his timer, but not really enough for the side of Lego to play off, to be honest, as they're just really holding this quite passively. You know, just waiting for that crucial pickup that they can potentially work off. You know, Lego not really with many defensive off classes, but they're just gonna wait it out and see what happens. Buttnose on spy. So I was waiting to see if he did off class, and indeed he did, and he has been off class in a few times to spy throughout this game. So you know, this could be interesting. He's actually spotted it. Teddy just missed a shot on him. So they do. Did they know, or was he disguised as a friendly sniper?
He was friendly sniper.
Yeah,
like, he was deliberately showing himself. But I mean,
that old chestnut, right?
The fact that friendly sniper didn't shoot back, maybe they're going to be onto something. But I don't know. No one seems to be looking for it.
Oh, wow, this is beautiful. Skeej is in a prime position for the picking of Buttnose, and he can see the fruit, and he wants to pick it. He just wants to eat the fruit of, I don't know, I'm trying to make some religious reference here to do with the Garden of Eden. I don't think it's working out very well. But they're just holding very passively. And there's men in the way between Buttnose and the beautiful pick, as Denny is the one to fall, actually. Josh, very forward by him. Going to be picking up a second one as well. And as well, look at Buttnose. Oh my god, Skeej, he almost dropped there. He just finally popped it in the nick of time. Tom's going to be picking up eyes on Josh with the counter frags there, and they need to make something happen here as they're behind enemy lines, but there's only one man, Adysky, in that shutter area. Holding... Oh my goodness. He could have got potentially a double kill there, but he's going to pay with his life in the end. That was a bit of a misplay from that man there.
I was so unfortunate. Like he just like looks around for like that split second just to check no one's flanking him, and it's the like we can see it with outlines, but he can't see it, man. Like he doesn't know he doesn't know what's happening. That's so unfortunate because it's like, yeah, like I know that feeling.
Yeah, this is very slow compared to the Snake Water game that we were watching before. And here we go, Lego trying to take that room, getting spammed out by both these soldiers. Tom with a big bomb forward is going to get that denial or get that force off in the end. Condom going to be popping his Uber. He's not going to escape with his life as Izon, the one to finish him up with a nice little chip shot from across the map. And ultimately, a hefty Uber advantage being held by the comfortably spanked fellas.
Yeah, Josh is coming super deep though, and he has Condom on him. Like they're just walking in. Like he's just walked in for. Why did they let him do that? He's on the sniper.
I don't know. He's going to pick up Denia. Yeah, and he's actually on the cap as well. So he's the Uber being forced a lot earlier than I think they're anticipating. And here comes the counterplay, completely collapsing onto them. They've already dropped a lot of players. Condom actually fell somewhere in the midst of that fight a few seconds earlier as well. I kind of missed that play. But here we go. Eyes on the Sorex. The dynamic duo of combination of scouts just destroying faces, picking up, just really cleaning them up. A complete domination of their team, and now it's just Denia left to defend this point against two scouts, and it's not going to be doable. Adysky, the only man alive. Lego.
That was so dumb. Like
that. Like how did they let Josh in?
Like the scout is in lower PC calling Josh like 5 seconds early. I think what happened was Skeej and his combo, like they tried to go in top PC. Like they've obviously got the call their PC. So they've thought they've got time to walk in through top PC and meet them. Like they catch Condom, they kill Condom by walking there, but then what happens is Josh jumps in, the Ubered combo is in PC, completely detached from the fight. So Josh is allowed to get in, kill a sniper, create a shit ton of distraction, and by the time everyone's rotated and dealt with it, Izon and Sorex can just walk in and go crazy.
Yeah. Now, this is another mid-fight that's going to be kicking off right now. Belt nose behind enemy lines. Gets off one rocket, two rocket onto Skeej. Skeej is a little bit too far forward. I think he surfed into the midst of Sorex, but he's not going to get finished off by him in the end. Hank going to be defending him. Condom the one to pay for his life behind enemy lines as Tom is the one to pick him up. Denia surviving with just one health point remaining and ultimately comfortably spanked, showing who's the really dominant ones on this fight as they completely clean them up. And Skeej didn't even die, so, you know, really nicely played by them.
They're so dominant on the mids, like on both maps. They've completely like dominated the mids so far tonight. I mean, it's quite telling about the rest of their play that they can do that and then not even like they lose the first map and they're not even ahead on the second map. Like they've won every mid, but I mean their mids are certainly like impressive. Like in isolation, they're a lot more coordinated on them. Like this one was a little bit closer. Like Buttnose gets in deep early, does damage to Skeej and trades with adysky, so you would think Lego would be able to play off that more, but. Because obviously the mid before this I commented how no one shot adysky and obviously they dealt with that problem this time, but yeah, something's obviously missing for Lego.
And here we go, Uber going to be played straight away, Vanny the one to be flashed in as he makes an attempt forward, ultimately not going to be finding the damage that he wanted, but look at that cap time, they didn't even focus the point at all, they cleared the stickies off, no one died in that engagement whatsoever, they just completely played the point. And they take it one more round to add to their collection, 2-1 makes the scoreline to the side of comfortably spanked. And 15 minutes in this game. It's not over just yet, Kaidus, but it's looking very dominant on these mids, as we were mentioning.
Yeah, and Denia's going sniper to mid now. This is like also part of it. Like they're switching mids up. Like even when they're winning mids, they're just changing the pace. Like they're not just like content and giving Lego time to adapt. They're just changing something and making Lego have to deal with it, like a new problem to deal with.
This is interesting now. Here comes the mid-fight already. Look at this double soldier attempt now. Buttnose, oh, what a shot by him. Picks up Denia in the end, but before picking up Sorex, ultimately two down on the side of the comfortably spanked guys, 3 down on Lego, and they're losing a lot of players. They're going to have to back all the way out. Izon might just pay with his life. No, he's going to get out just in time. Condom going to be healing him up to full health. Very, again, scrappy is the word I would use, but a bit discombobulated as well with those two soldier plays.
I'm not sure, I didn't check, like, did someone on Lego check for a sniper? Because Buttnose just did a massive bomb straight into Denia on choke, like he expected the sniper to be there. I didn't check, like, did someone check, like, you know, do the spy check for sniper at the start of the round? If not, then that was super unlucky for Denia, because Buttnose just literally lands on his head within 2 seconds of him peeking. Somehow, like I say, like, Denia gets the kill anyway, so Buttnose and Denia trade, Denia gets a kill on top of that, so the sniper play works, despite Buttnose doing that read. So, like, that's like well played, but... If they didn't know there was a sniper, that's like random. That's like random as hell.
Well, here we are. 100% Uber going to be held by both these teams, and they're eager to make some plays happen. 14 minutes on the clock. Lego are the ones at a disadvantage, so they need to make something happen. And I think this IT are again a bit aggressive there. Buttnose just peers from the corner, picks up Denia. 1 rocket, 2 rockets, just enough to finish him up in the end. 1 frag advantage on their side. Whether or not they want to play off at Kaidus is yet to be seen, but they're taking a lot of spam here as they're trying to move in.
This soldier's just, oh my god, I don't know who it was. Buttnose of Josh's peak PC. They're actually just, what the hell is going on? They're all just walking in for free right now. Like, they have control of PC, they have control of sewers, they're in choke, and they've popped Uber, but I mean, they've popped it relatively early, they've flashed a lot of people in, and the counter pop from Skeej is actually coming quite late. They're certainly going to trap someone in. That's Josh down, that Scout's caught in.
This is a lot of frags. Eyes on is going to fall, yeah, as you said. And Dr. Phil, he's actually ate 2 pills. Adysky, beautiful damage by that man. That's 3 frags now on their side. Tom, actually a little bit too aggressive by him. And so, he picks up the 3rd pill. And Sorix is the one to fall. And here we go, Denia picking up Condom as well, of all people, in that lobby area. That is not the pick that you want to lose on the side of Lego when you're trying to defend this now, as they do not have a medic, they do not have this buffs. They've just got these respawns, but ultimately, Butno's going to be trying to make the plays behind enemy lines. They've just capped up this Spire area. They're in such a solid position here to really just... They've got this game by the balls, essentially. They're just in such a dominant fashion throughout all of these mid-fights. It seems like Lego not really given a chance to breathe. They made a few excellent plays here and now, but... you know, here we are. We're watching them with these Prolander setups on last.
They're in.
Yeah, here we go. Uber's going to be popped out straight away. They've a sentry gun, not even doing any denial whatsoever. They can pretty much just play this point as no one is there. But knows with the big bump forward does actually manage to get a lot of damage off. And here we go. It's actually looking pretty good right now for the side of them. Skeej trying to get those swords off. Can he do anything? Can he do anything? I should say. Oh my goodness, Eyes On was just dodging and juking for days. He picked up a 4K there. I don't know if they were all of his pistol, but ultimately, he's just clutching these last holes time and time again for Lego. They're really doing a number on Comfortably Spanked. Every attempt, when you just think it's going their way, they just turn it around completely.
Yeah, they commit super hard though, Comfortably Spanked. They, the last push we saw them make before this one, it worked. Like, they just put bodies on the point and Lego didn't react in time, so they got the cap. They do pretty much the exact same thing this time, except Lego just react, and then suddenly all their players are committed into one point and they're getting crushed. Like, they're just catching all the spam together, and it's not a reliable way of pushing last. And it's extra bad because when you fail, you wipe, and you give away second for free, basically, as we're seeing now. So it's kind of the same as on Snake. They would just kind of go in, they would do one thing, and then just all stand around and die by the end. They would never get out and maintain control of second. When they push last, they lose second if they don't cap last. So it's why this game has such a large swing on it. Like, Lego losing all the mids, but actually managing to win the first map and stay in the second map. It's because these failed last pushes are always resulting in big swings for Lego. They can always do something off the back of them. They're never stable. If Comfortably Spanked, even if they're not going to convert the pushes, if they would just not wipe on them so hard, they would legitimately be dominating this game, I think. Just off the back of the way they're playing mids.
I mean, would you say that this is an issue with Comfortably Spanked's, what's the word I should say, execution?
Yeah.
Oh, and a mixture as well of Lego really being more coordinated.
Yeah, I mean, like you see, this most recent push, Lego did one mistake the time before, but he does
Okay, yeah.
Ooh. But this time they completely fixed the mistake they made last time. So they only made that mistake once, and now they fixed it. And Josh is actually just walking a PC. He wants to trade here.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to basically get in for free. Eyes On picks up Denia as well. That's 2 frags for them. And here comes the Uber. Going to be popped out. Skeej with a slightly better Uber by that man. But Adysky, he's ate so much damage. And here comes that shotgun coming into play. Putting in a lot of work as he does manage to finish up the demo man on the side of Comfortably Spanked. And here we go. Here comes the aggression. Skeej, the one to pay with his life. Vanny going to be doing his darndest. Vanny running for the shotgun as well. That's two soldiers running. This is a bit of a resurgence from what we've seen. And Tom, just out of nowhere, just Goomba stomps off someone's head. And just manages to pick up Condom in the midst of that chaos. So, how is this possible? Eyes on Sniper on the 4K as well in these pushes. And, oh wow, look at Butnose. They don't even realise he's there. And here we go, yeah, this could be absolutely detrimental for them as he's behind enemy lines. 1 rocket, 2 rocket, that's all he needs. And Skeej is the one to pay with his life in the end. And here we go to set the Spire point. Being capped up by Lego, but is it enough as Dr. Phil? I think it is, as he picked up one pipe after the other. Denia going to be paying with his life. And Eyes On with the headshot to Hank. This is just frag after frag.
Yeah, Lego are just absolutely crushing transitions at the moment. Like, I talk about how Comfortably Spanked are dominating the mids, but as soon as it's outside of the mids and Lego aren't at a disadvantage, they're winning almost every engagement. I mean, it's a bit of a joke that they can just walk in PC, get a trade like that. Like, they should get forced in PC and juggled, and it should be really difficult for them to do that, but they just walk in for free.
Yeah, looking at this, they're already making this plays, and Condom's on no health at all, but at the same time, behind enemy lines again. Did they actually pick up Condom? Did Tom actually pick that up? How? I was watching the fight just kicking off on the spy area, which is still kicking off. Hank and Denier, the dynamic duo. Izon is trying to basically clean them up to the best of his abilities, and it's just adysky and Izon pretty much against the world. Denier's coming up from the flank. Dr. Phil's going to be trying to do his darndest as he picks up one pipe, and that's going to finish him off, and he trades of all the frags to get. How does he come out on top? He does die in the end, but picking up those 2 frags when he was the only one left on no health at all. How does that even happen? The DM of that man coming out, and Lego, I mean, it's these individual plays and these coordinated plays that have really keeping them in this game so far, but 8 minutes remain on the clock. They're a round down, and, you know, there's a lot to play for here.
Yeah, adysky will have been happy with that trade, though, because if Phil gets that kill clean, then Phil gets the cap as well. So even though obviously adysky got wrecked, like Phil hits like 3 pipes in a row, but like he'll be happy that he at least denied the cap, which is the most important thing at the end of the day. But now players kind of being traded. Tom's gone down, Izon's gone down. Lego actually committed to Suez, but they're backing up. I think it's going to be a reset on mid with Izon getting the much later spawn than Tom. We're going to reset here. But I mean, like I said before, Lego have been crushing transitions these past 15 minutes. Like whenever it's not a mid fight and whenever comfortably Spanked don't have advantage, Lego seem to win pretty much every fight. So I'm just wondering what gaping hole comfortably Spanked going to leave this time that Lego can just walk in and get a clean trade out of, because that's what's been happening for the last 10 minutes or so.
Now, this is it. This is basically equal Uber on both these teams. Or I say basically, that is the case. That is the harsh reality that we are facing right now. But with only 7 minutes on the clock and Lego being a round down, the pressure's really on them to make the move here. I mean, comfortably Spanked not in the best position. I mean, ideally you don't want to be holding on to your second point, but you know, things could be a lot worse for them. And Josh looks like he wants to make something happen.
Yeah, they've taken over Suez with their sniper. Like, they're just giving Izon room on the far right Suez to snipe. Phil has sticky the main sewer door, so no one can counter that. And
Uber being forced by Buttnose. Oh, wow. Okay, I don't think they meant to do that at all, but here we go. Much better positioning coming out by Lego. If they can potentially get a replay, they have picked up 2 players, however. And here we go on the flank of Vanny. Actually gets off a beautiful rocket onto Sorex, but he's not going to be enough to finish him off in the end. Denier behind enemy lines, getting off a lot of damage as well. He's going to be causing some absolute chaos. He's going to fall in the end to Josh, of all people. Going to be sniping him up. Condom finally pops out the Uber. They picked up 2 messy frags, as you were mentioning, in these transitions, just really coming out the Kings. And here we go. They're just pushing all the way deep into this second point, already picking up a 3rd frag.
Oh my
They're
God,
just going to be
so
getting
bad.
near these respawns. But how do you turn that around when you had a 2-man disadvantage?
Like, Lego just, they get the players that are in for the force. It's the fact that Vanny gets caught out that is so bad, because now they're 3 down and they push in the last. They really need to just hold this point. Like, they're actually going to hold it. Lego probably were a little bit too greedy there. Like, they committed really hard when they only really had enough advantage to walk in. Like, they had what they needed to enter the fight, but they couldn't just take it like a hard commit like that. They just kind of gifted that away. But Sorex is hiding in rollout. It's a 1v1 on last. No, a 1v2 on last. Never mind. He's not getting shit. It's a 1v3 now. The whole has called his boys.
Whole squad's turning up. Yeah. And, well, I called it once. I call it again, you know. 5 minutes, 40 seconds in the game. Lego going to be feeling the heat here, Kaidus.
Yeah, they just got a little bit too greedy there. Like when Vanny went down on second, that's the 3rd player that dropped. So that was going to be like enough room for them to walk in, but the respawn wave was always going to come. Like Tom and Denier were always going to get the spawn before that fight really was defined. So this extra frag, it just meant they could walk in for free. It didn't mean they could like hard commit to a fight.
Here we go. Uber's going to be coming out now, and a lot of frags on either side, but actually it's Condom the one who's going to be paying with his life. Hank picking up that frag, 3 down on the side of Lego, and they're losing players like Flies, but the positioning is not good for the side of comfortably Spanked. Look how much damage they are taking there. They are also 3 players down. Izon is doing this darndest to try and force them out, and look at this aggression. Josh with a big bump forward, gets off 1 rocket to Skeej, but Izon just runs down adysky, and he's actually managed to find the frag. So this is going to be the Spire capped up. Spawner's just coming up for comfortably Spanked, so I mean, would you recontest this here, Kaidus?
Not here and now, I wouldn't. Not about adysky. Like, the Demo Man is so important for the Spire, because like all of the doors are really, really tough to walk out from, apart from lower. And from lower, the only class that's really relevant is your Demo, like spamming up at the point. So without him, it's not really worth it, especially when they have this advantage. But my main fear now is that they're going to try and use this advantage. I really don't think they should. They only have like 20% or so, and then they don't need to be the aggressors here. Like, they have the lead, they have a solid hold on last, and if they try and use this advantage, it's going to really bite them, because
look at
just kite it and then repop.
Yeah, look at what class Denier is playing now. Spy. Slowly but surely going to be making his way, and he's actually uncloaked, and he's like a predator. Look at it, 1 butter knife. Can he make the rest happen? He does get off 1 little revolver kill, but ultimately That was a bit too close for comfort. Condom, the survivor in that outcome. And here we go. This is a push. They want to push off that one pick straight away, apparently. Uber going to be popped out if they can get it off. Skeej just pops it. A slight, very slight Uber coming out from them. So they're going to have the slight advantage. But ultimately, neither team really looking to play this. I think they're just going to try and peek this, get the frags, and see if they can contest this any further. But ultimately, is this a push that's making the rounds? I think it is. Already they've jumped a lot of players. Adysky and Vanny falling extremely low. And here comes Sorex behind enemy lines. Vanny with that shotgun going to be coming out to full force. But look at this cap time. Denia going to try and put in some work. And ultimately they're going to be taking this round 2-all to both these teams. 3 minutes 20 seconds remaining. We could potentially be seeing a golden cap here.
Yeah, that felt a bit too easy for Lego. Like, they telegraphed everything so much. Like, the first Uber in, like, Skeej should have been able to milk that harder because Josh and Condom weren't in sync. They telegraphed where they're going to walk in from. Comes with Spank really should have been better set up for that. And then the repush was telegraphed as well. And still they're able to get in. They find the frag on Tom and break open far left at the same time Josh walks in. But, I don't know, from my perspective, it was so obvious this was going to happen and they just weren't set up for anything. And my money's on this being the first mid that can't fully Spank lose.
Well, here we are already, picking up actually a frag onto Joshua people, but they've traded 2 men. Tom and Denny are the ones to pay with their life in this engagement, and they're backing all the way out. They want nothing to do with it. But Nose is so far forward, trying to get off some rockets onto Skeej, but a movement by that man, I think he was a little bit out of reach from him on that spy area, so he is going to survive in the end. And Lego...
What's that scout doing?
I don't know, Sorex...
It's like he lost his way, he didn't know where he was, he just like runs in, he's like, oh, nope, this isn't it.
Oh, I'm not supposed to be here, yeah. I don't know, I do that sometimes when I'm like, I find myself talking to someone on the phone mid-game and then I just like completely filter out what my team's doing and I end up just jumping into like 5 men and throwing it for us. But looking at attempts covered in by Josh, he does try and get some damage off the Skeej. He's not ultimately going to get the frag that he was looking for. In fact, he's not going to get any frags at all. But, I mean, the chat's pointing someone out. This is a first. Lego's won a mid.
Yeah.
There we go.
I had a feeling that would happen. I don't know why. I think Comfy Spanked are probably not feeling very good about themselves at the moment. They've kind of thrown their lead away, if you ask me. They make a lot of like crucial errors, and they're kind of like they're the kind of errors that really annoy you, because it's like not down to some sick play from the other team. It's just you had the chance to deal with it and you didn't. And now Lego have Ubered in on a pick of Denio.
And here we go, yeah. Both Ubers being exchanged. A slightly better Uber coming out by Skeej. It's yet to be known whether they can get any frags at all. They're trying to play this to the best of their abilities, but Josh is on no health at all. Look at him, absolute sliver of HP. He's going to get healed up in the end, and Vanny is going to pick up Dr. Phil. Eyes on. Actually, how did he get that frag when he's that far forward? Picking up Hank in the midst of all that chaos, and already Tom behind enemy lines. They haven't even spotted him at all. He just gets off all these rockets, and he's actually picked up Condom at the same time. Vanny very far forward, hits up a lovely rocket onto Buttnose. Going to be picking him up. Eyes on going to be trading with Tom in the end, and he's picked up Sorex as well, going absolutely huge. One man, I think he might pay with his life here against Izon. Indeed he is. It's Skeej versus Izon on Aspire. Is he going to be able to do it? No, Hank's going to save his medic's life, yeah, so he is going to get out. Well, he's going to survive in that engagement, but...
Where's Hank going? Hank, get the fuck back to Skeej. Where the hell is he going? Why is he doing that? Like, they just like... Oh my god, sorry, that triggered me so badly. Like, why is he just running to mid? Like, he has no chance of capping that, and Skeej should have had, like, almost Uber by now if Hank stayed with him. What the hell? That's so stupid.
He wants to throw the game, you know? Wants to make it not a golden cap. Tired, you know? They want to end the night. But this is it. This is the attempt. Last ditch effort by Lego as they've already bombed in. Big bomb forward. But no, picking up Skeej.
How?
Oh my goodness. Okay, you want to blame Hank? Let's blame Hank.
Hank's throwing the game!
Hank is throwing. They might actually win this. There's 12 seconds left, and they're pushing all the way deep already. Or have they thrown this? I don't know. Tom and Denny are going to be trying to make these plays happen. Hank, one man against the world. Denny is still alive. They've actually thrown it. It's going to go to a golden cap of all the things. That was so doable for Lego, but ultimately... That's what it should have been. That's the outcome that we were expecting, the golden cap, but it was looking very different for a few seconds there, Kaidus.
I've never wanted team comp so bad in my life. Skeej was going to be so mad when he died there, because he would have been yelling at Hank the whole time he ran away, the same as I was. And nothing makes Skeej more angry than when he dies on like 90% when he knows he should have had Uber, because he's got that clock in his head all the time. That kid knows when he should have Uber. Oh my god, he's so tilted going into this golden cap. At least if I know Skeej.
I question some of the plays that happen in this game, but then again, I've casted some lower level tier 2 than this, and it's often, in the pre-game, Josh hitting up some nice directs, just warming himself up. But this is going to go to a golden cap. We are going to see it potentially. I mean, this is an incredibly close game, and we are going to take a look at these logs as well. So that's going to be interesting to look at. What can we look at here? Sorted by damage. So they are immediately starting off. We've got 90 seconds to talk about these logs quickly. Anything you want to point out for me, Kaidus?
I don't know. Adysky's having a really solid game. Like on the mids, he's been crucial. I mean, I did point out that he's not been focused particularly hard, but he's making a lot happen with the room he's been given. Like his stats are kind of showing this. Like a lot of damage. I think he's probably a big factor in why they've been winning the mids, because they haven't been the aggressors on the mids, but they've been winning them in spite of that. And if that's happening, it's down to your demo a lot of the time. Dr. Phil on the opposite side of things, 10 and 14, 6k damage, 200 a minute. That's not great. Kind of getting outplayed by his opposite number at the moment, other than that one moment we saw. But a lot of people on weird KDs. Josh 17 for 19, Sorek 17 for 17. So it kind of shows how even the game was.
Yeah. It was bizarre. It was really bizarre. Can we take a look at these mid-fights one as well? I believe that's in the team frags. Indeed it is. I'll switch to the right element, thank goodness. And look at that, yeah. 4 out of the 5 mid-fights won, but comfortably spanked, but they just could not finish it up time and time again.
Yeah.
Really just beefing those last pushes as we mentioned, but the game will be starting any time now. Any quick and dirty predictions? I mean, it's very hard to predict what's going to happen at all, given what we've just seen.
I feel like Lego are going to take it from here. Like, comfortably spanked came too close, and like, I'm not saying this to like make fun of anyone, but based on my knowledge of Skeej, he will be pretty pissed after that thing at the end. Even though it didn't end up mattering, it's going to like have annoyed him, and that might have prompted some like negativity in the team comms. So I'm not saying it as a necessity, but I've seen it happen in the past. So I'm feeling like they're maybe not in such a good place mentally as they probably were at the start of this, like in the middle of this map.
Well, here we are. This is going to be the last mid-fight of the night that we're going to be seeing. And already, look at that aggression by Tom. Going to be trying to get that top left position. Trying to make some plays happen. Denia running sniper to mid. And he's actually picked up the frag onto butt nose of all people. And here we go. That's created a lot of room. That's an opening for his team if they want to capitalise off it at all. Lego trying to make some damage happen. He's picked up a second one. Dr. Phil going to be paying with his life. And now Lego, they're in a very, very sticky situation here. They need to back off if they don't want to lose any more. Sorex trying to make that frag happen onto Skeej and comfortably spanked. The ones spanking Lego here. Unbelievable stuff.
And they should get second. Like, they have complete control of this golden cap now. Like, they're gonna have this team on last. They should like if this is me, I set up everything now, so there is no way that the enemy team can recap second. Like, first thing I'm doing probably in a game this tight, this close, I'm probably getting like a heavy or something like that, you know? And just like play the long game basically. Just do something like don't do a hard commit push like they have been doing. Don't just let them recap second if this push fails now. It's the last thing you want to happen.
Look at all this room that they're being given already. Denier has just literally got so much of the world to take for his own, and a big attempt coming in by Vanny. Vanny's actually
has control of the balcony. He's completely above them. Oh my god, Bano was just so unlucky there. He came out rollout, or lower left, got complete control of balcony, and just as he walked into lobby from behind, the entire team is walking under him and back outside. But if he'd done that 1 second early, he would have just been looked down at 3 people, not looking at him.
Yeah.
One of whom was Skeej. But eyes on Spy. Maybe that's something, or is he just checking? No, he's in lobby on Spy.
Indeed, this is interesting, and he hasn't actually been spotted. They haven't bumped into him just yet, and he has seen Denia, so they know where he is. He spotted Skeej as well. In fact, the entire team has come to join him for a little bit of a party kicking off. And we will see if he tries to make any plays happen whatsoever. But this is ultimately them just waiting for that pick, and they've actually heard the decloak. For once, I've casted so many spy plays, and they oh my god, Phil! What? Did he just pick up a 2k with that? And they forced the Uber as well? What in God's name just happened there?
Yeah, he just spammed. Skeej turned around, looked at the spy, and then suddenly pipes are raining, and half his team's dead, and he's had to Uber.
Oh my god, what? How does that happen? So yeah, they don't have the Uber. Condom's going to be having 100%, providing he doesn't drop to Denia on Sniper here. They're trying to basically... Dr. Phil's going to get picked up, and adysky's picked up Josh. That's already 2 frags. They're 3 men down now, Lego. Not in a good position at all, but look at that scout duo. Just destroying men.
They only have 2.
Denia's going to be trying to make something happen, but... He has done a brilliant job of it so far. Look how far forward he is, actually. This fight is actually broken up onto 2 parts here. Izon is just basically dodging and juking behind that rock, but it's not going to be enough. He's brought Skeej and Tom down to double digits of health between them. And, you know, this sort of mix mash of plays is really just not doing them any favours here.
In spite of all of that, Condom held on to his Uber throughout the duration of that as well. So even though all this nonsense has gone down, they're now going to have a chance to push. I just hope they see them. They're coming PC, and they've walked in for free here so many times now. But this time they do get forced. But it's important. No, Skeej is caught!
Wow, unbelievable! That was a drop, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. I don't think it was a drop, but he was just so far out of position. He didn't have it.
No, it wasn't a drop. Yeah, he didn't have it at all.
But yeah, it's almost as bad because he's so far out of position. Like, you have to expect this and be ready to leave. He just gets like caught on the door. Like, call it a drop,
But-
you might as well, because it's a
Well,
massive
yeah.
clanger. Like, it's a huge mistake. Probably a game-costing mistake at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, and especially with this golden cap now, I mean, you want to at least win the golden cap to secure those 2 points. But if you're going to be losing this, it's not great for the playoffs tables coming into this. And already, this is the second point taken. Uber advantage, a massive one of that, going to be coming up on the side of Condom. And it's really all up on these individual plays once again. They need to make something happen, whether or not they're not really opting for any off classes, which might be the smart thing to do. But they do not have Uber to work off. They haven't even got any defensive off classes, so to speak. Denier is finally on sniper. The sentry gun's only just being built, but I think it's too little too late. As Lego, they're already in that lobby area, Kaidus.
Yeah, I believe in Hank, though. He knows what he did in the first part of the game. He's got to redeem himself. Fat engineer plays, I believe.
Oh, here we go. This is the attempt coming out. Uber's going to be popped once and for all. Here we go. Josh finishes up the sentry gun. And look at that cap time.
Oh my god.
What in God's name? How do you end a game like that?
They threw this game so hard.
They just kited through spawn. They just didn't
actually
contest it at
threw.
all.
Is this game on Saloon? I think we need like an investigation or something, man.
Throwing skins. I don't think TF2 is that big of an esport just yet, but who knows? But that was... How did you throw that?
Like, they threw it in so many ways, so many times. Like, Hank tried to throw really, really hard. Skeej kind of threw it a little bit. But it was just like, it wasn't even like anyone threw it like individually. They just open themselves up to these mistakes. Like, they win the mid, they have second, but then they all just kind of group up together in a lobby, and then the most random thing in the world happens that ends up in two of them dying and Skeej getting forced. And, like, you can't even point the finger at someone for that. It's just like, they didn't take precautions and random shit occurred. It's
Yeah, that's how you summarize it, yeah. It's a difficult game to summarize all in all, because as we saw, the mid fights were pretty dominant on the side of comfortably spanked, and then and it was looking pretty good as well throughout process. They were holding with that lead, and you were mentioning you can't feel hot after that. They did throw it in the end, and it's not a great feeling.
Yeah, no, that was a legit, like, they should have won that game. At the very least a map, comfortably spanked. They played really well overall, to be honest.
Yeah. And
it's a shame they don't get anything out of it, but they also threw a little bit, so I don't know. I feel bad for them, but I probably felt worse for Lego if they'd lost, because Lego are kind of a lot more is expected of Lego, and it would have been pretty dismal for the state of the scene if Lego were getting beaten by what seemed to be like a lowish Prem team, even though they played relatively well tonight.
Yeah. Beyond that, are we going to be getting some interviews in, or okay? Yeah, we can look at the logs. We're going to try and get some interviews in as well. So that's going to be interesting to see. Logs are loaded. Here we go. So this is the main game that we're going to be seeing here. As you can see, 2-all. Frag percentage by zone. You can see the majority of the frags happening on that mid fight to the side of comfortably spanked, winning it pretty convincingly with 34% of the 34% of their total frags happening on that mid. And we definitely saw it, but ultimately where it failed was those last pushes, which you can definitely see. Then again, they see it. They did not fail to get there. Well, I say they did not fail. They failed to get those picks in that last area. On Lego's side of the map, you can see Lego didn't even get like the majority of their frags in that area, and yet they were still the majority holders. You see 13 and 12% of the frags in the second and last point. Still, they're the ones on top. So. But I mean, we mentioned that throughout the entirety of the game, just comfortably spanked and not doing well at all when they were trying to push into the last points.
Yeah, this is actually, of all the games I've seen so far, these stats are like the most interesting this time, because the team that lost kind of controlled the most zones.
Yes, yeah.
Like, it's the first time I've seen that happen. Every other game I've watched with these stats, it's always been very clear cut. Yep, one team dominated. Yep, everything's their color. But this time, like, it really shows you that this was comfortably spanked's game. They won the mids, they took the seconds, they had way more chances on last probably, and they just beefed. Well, it says they have the same conversion rate, but when you think about things like that last attempt at the end, where Lego never even got as far as pushing, for me that's like an opportunity to push last that they just failed and never took. So it doesn't show up on these stats, but it was like, in terms of who had control of the game, they, like, in that sense of thinking, they had a chance to push last. So their conversion rate is worse for me overall, even though the stats say it's like the same. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was their game to have, man. They got to feel bad probably.
Although they might feel quite good because they put up a really good game against what seems a stronger team. Like that's probably pretty good for them, but they could so easily have won this map.
So we are going to have some players in. Condom, Dr. Phil, Hank and Skeej are the men to be joining us in this interview. Not sure when. I think we're pretty much done with these logs for now. If we want to start to move these guys in. I don't know if they're ready. I'm just gonna jump it straight onto David. Hello. How are you? How are you? Both teams, in fact. Firstly, I'm just going to say, I don't know what I'm going to say at all. How are you?
Hangover as a motherfucker.
Family show, please. No swearing.
What's hangover? Oh, terrible.
I guess the thoughts that's on everyone's mind right now is probably, that was kind of your game to win there, Hank and Skeej. Towards the end of the process anyway, you had a decent lead as well. Would it be fair to say that it was a bit of a throw on your guys' behalf? Or?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
We had many throwy moments. Like in that lobby when Phil got the picks.
Oh yeah, the vampires.
Yeah. And then at the end, fuck man, it was my bad. Like when we were holding mid, I somehow pushed on my keyboard. I was trying to get back into sewer. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh
and
yeah,
I got caught out. Like it was not my decision making. It was just my hand didn't work.
Right. Okay.
I could have gotten out easily, but then I walked into a wall. I'm fucking gonna jump off my balcony in a bit for that.
Yeah, we saw that. You got caught out and you got called out, mate.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Fair enough.
No, I did say that it looked like you kind of got stuck on the door a bit rather than being out of position. I wasn't sure. It happened so fast,
Yeah, no, it was my my hand not working.
One thing I will say as well is we can't really blame all of the, put all the throws on the side of you guys, Hank and Skeej, because, Condom, Dr. Phil, you had your fair share of throws as well throughout that game. There's a few close moments.
I didn't have that great of a game.
Neither did I.
A lot of misplays,
Yeah, very scrappy TF2.
It was not pretty, I imagine.
I liked it.
Beyond that, yeah, it's definitely entertaining. I mean, you got that going for you. I mean, the slower paced TF2 that some of us are more accustomed to watching is, sometimes people can't really appreciate it. So it's definitely entertaining for one. And Phil, you hit some absolutely nutty pipes towards the end of that process game as well. So massive plays from both sides actually. In fact, I can't really pin it all onto Dr. Phil. Tom was going absolutely huge on the side of comfortably Spanked, but my question
was doing big work.
Yeah, Butners as well, doing a lot of work. The question I want to ask is, going into this game, I suppose, were you confident, Condom, going up against comfortably Spanked, or?
Oh, only as confident as you can be. We've been playing fairly well, I guess, but you never know. If the officials are always on such another level of seriousness, so you can never really be too confident going into it.
And this last week has not been great. Let's put it that way.
So you kind of come in expecting the worst, hoping for the best.
That's fair enough. Beyond that, you're going to be escaping that with 5 points, I believe, on the table. Is that correct? Because you came out on top with a golden cap, so that's going to put you guys in a pretty solid position actually coming into the playoffs and stuff. This is mainly directed at the team of Lego. What's your aim so far for this season, and how far you anticipating a clash between the top teams, Nameless and Perilous? Maybe a bit further on.
Well, we're of course hoping to get playoffs like we are every season.
Yay! Going great, that's far.
Aiming low, yeah.
The aim is of course to be the number 3 team, but
okay.
You never know what happens.
Well, yeah, me and Kaidus are making comments to it, saying, a lot of out of all the teams that could potentially take it, I think Lego are probably one of the better contenders for it. Beyond that, Kaidus, do you have any questions you wanna ask?
I have a question for Hank and Skeej. Okay, so I'm going to paint you a scenario, and I want you to tell me what was happening on Mumble at the time. So there's about a minute left of regulation time on process. There's a strange engagement on second. The end result is that Skeej and Hank are the only players left alive. Hank runs to mid, ditches Skeej on second. Skeej is left holding his dick, and Hank eventually comes running back to Skeej. So Skeej wasn't building, and Skeej eventually dies on 90% with about 30 seconds left on his own second. Can you tell me
Yes.
what was happening on Mumble at this moment? Because I was having a bit of a mare.
Yeah, but basically it was like we basically killed all of them, all of Lego, and I thought I could go and get maybe the midpoint, and then maybe we can get second and then the last. And then when I ran there, then I decided not to go, and yeah, basically
I called
fucked up.
for it, but yeah, it was it was kind of obvious not to go, in my opinion, because it was just us two, and they were getting all the spawns on second, so they were gonna run all over us.
My brain today has been really bad. I have been feeling really bad today, like overall hangover and shit like that.
And Hank is finished, so when he says he has a hangover, then you know it's really terrible.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was like flipping my shit when this was happening. And then when Skeej dies, because like Skeej wasn't building obviously in this time, when Skeej is then dying on 95% or whatever it was just like, I don't know. I imagined the worst for your comms at that moment.
No, somehow I didn't connect the dots to be able to tilt from that moment, so I guess that's lucky for me and my team.
Because I was gonna say, like, because I know like you always have this like clock of like the Ubers, and like when you die there, it's like I felt like you would know that you definitely should have had it if this hadn't happened, and it was just like, I don't know, it just felt like all the stars were aligning in the worst way for you guys, and you were gonna lose in the worst possible way I could imagine, like right at the end. In a way, it's better that you were like kind of blissfully unaware of
I guess
of what could have happened here.
Yeah, well, I never time my own Uber. I just time the enemy's Uber, and then then you always know if you have advantage, disadvantage. But I don't know. I guess there was so much tension in that moment that I didn't even realize that that was a direct consequence of that.
I suppose so. Yeah.
If you watch the VOD back,
I'm not gonna watch this.
I apologize for any misjudgments I may have made in this moment, painting people's personalities in certain ways. I was mostly just annoyed as a like, I don't know. Yeah, this was a moment. Let's just say that.
Taking
you
yourself
had
into
like
a hole.
you were experiencing proxy frustration for me, basically.
Yeah, I genuinely envisioned you like losing your shit in this moment, because I would have lost my shit if I was like witnessing this moment from like my team's perspective.
Right.
I feared the worst.
I think do we want to wrap this up before this gets out of control? Is that a safe? Is that a safe argument? Any more questions, Kaidus? You want to ask?
I just want to know what Lego are thinking about Perilous this coming week.
Or Perilous next week?
I think. Did I
It
make
is
that up?
our upcoming week, yeah. It is on process and product.
Do Perilous have Mike yet?
Yeah,
Crap.
I think they said they were going to have him this week, but they won't have practiced much with him.
Yeah, very true. Well, I think we have a good chance on product.
Yeah, on product probably, but it's process and product, right?
Yeah.
Whew.
Alright.
It's a good question, you know?
Wow, I'm loving the confidence. Really looking forward to this match now, guys.
confidence,
Thanks.
yeah. Nice.
I think we have a good chance on product to be able to win it. If we actually play up to what we actually can.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely going to be interesting to see, and catch it next week, I believe, on the same channel, assuming it's going to be covered. I'm assuming it's going to be covered. Beyond that, I'm going to end this now before it really gets out of control, because interviews are the work of the devil, and I hate them. But I guess it's fair to do shout-outs now. We can start from the top, going down. I work with Adysky, who's just managed to wiggle his way into this mumble while we were talking.
Just sneaked him into this interview. I don't deserve, but I'm gonna shout out my Highlander team.
Alright, bit controversial, but I'll go with it. Condom.
I don't really have anything, sorry.
Phil.
Shout out to Sen, Seppu, Amy, Ryan, Skeej, Epley, F2, Sexkin, Crystal, and Hellback.
Alright, nice and quick. Hank.
No shoutouts for me.
Skeej.
Shoutouts to the crew, TFTV crew, to viewers. Shoutouts to Kaidus and Zebusai. I wonder how they're doing right now in Overwatch. Don't spoil it for me.
Alright.
What about the rest?
and Kato.
What about the rest of the TF2 boys?
All the TF2. Oh well, you shout them out.
I don't know who they are.
Shout out to Butnose for playing for us.
There
By
you
the
go.
way.
Kato.
Shout out to the other TF2 boys playing Overwatch at the moment. There's Flippy, Nico, Bod, Dagon, Numlocked, Nox, and Tvik. I think they deserve support as well.
yes.
True.
Like there was a game that was like 8 out of 12 players were TF2 players. Oh yeah, and there's all the Finns. There's so many TF2 players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Other
thinking to
teams.
myself earlier. There's more top TF2 players at that LAN than we've had at TF2 LAN for about 3 years. So I was quite enjoying it from a TF2 perspective.
Right. Yeah, let's end this. I'm going to give a quick sell-out shout-out to my stream after this. I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, so I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to say, if you want to hear the live Grand Premiership reading of the brand new fanfiction that Zersha has written for me, you can head over to my stream after this, where I'm going to be reading it out, and hopefully my flatmate isn't listening. So there you go. I think beyond that, thanks for checking us out. Thanks for watching, guys, and we hope you had a good time as we did casting it. So beyond that, I think we're out. Peace.